Storm-free, but mostly cloudy, high 86. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
1819 News.
Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall has joined with 27 other state attorneys general who are asking the Trump administration to take action against illegal Chinese e-cigarettes. AG Marshall says these e-cigarettes are being sold in the U.S. and are targeting kids. The group of attorneys general are asking the Food and Drug Administration to require proper application and labeling of these e-cigarettes that are being sold in the U.S. There was a crackdown that took place during Trump's first administration on these e-cigarettes, but unfortunately during the Biden administration, the floodgates were opened for the sale of these illegal Chinese e-cigarettes. The southern states of Florida, Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, and Louisiana are some of the states who have signed on to the letter that was sent to the FDA and the Trump administration. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Ryan Dawson here, CEO of 1819 News. I'm also the host of 1819 News, the podcast, and we'd love for you to join us by listening to our weekly show on all the top podcast apps, both in audio and video format. At 1819 News, the podcast, we are in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama. Every week, we're having important conversations with guests from across this great state, all with the goal of equipping Alabamians to be in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama with us. New episodes are released weekly. I hope you'll join us.
A man from Semmes is now facing manslaughter charges for an overdose death that involved the drug fentanyl. 18-year-old Brandon Hawley was arrested after police were first sent to a residence to resolve a domestic fight. The drugs were ultimately found in Hawley's vehicle. Investigators then traced those drugs to the overdose death of 18-year-old Jace Ward. Hawley is also facing charges for domestic violence that involves assaulting his girlfriend. And 18-year-old Grant Beverly of Huntsville is being charged for a deadly hit and run that occurred on April 7th and killed 39-year-old pedestrian Jeremy Dempsey. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
At Guardian Credit Union, if it's important to you, it's important to us. We don't do banking differently. We do relationships differently. Want to secure a HELOC for home projects? So do we. Want to build your credit? So do we. Want to plan your next vacation? So do we. We're here to help with whatever's next, because whatever you want in life, so do we. Stop by any of our branches and let's plan your next step together. Guardian Credit Union, where you belong. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Housing Opportunity. NMLS 912757.
Whoa. More fiber?
What?
Down here, buddy. It's me, your spoon. Constipation with belly pain still coming back?
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, but Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program here on a lovely Tuesday out of Montgomery, Alabama. That's at least where we're broadcasting out of. I don't know if my mind is on Montgomery today as we see so much going on in the news. Eddie Bader will be joining us shortly. I believe he's getting some real estate stuff done.
Always be closing.
Yes, we know.
Always be closing.
Byron Sheehy is here in the studio with me. How you doing today?
I decided to do this instead of doing my taxes, so I'm doing very well.
You decided to do this show
Instead of doing
your taxes. You filing an extension?
Well, Scott told me this morning that we got an extension because of the hurricane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I already got mine done like a month ago.
Showboat.
Yeah, I used to be the guy who was like extension, where I'm paying in like October. And now I've learned to just get ahead of it, get it over with, pull the Band-Aid off.
All it takes is paying the IRS interest on being late or not filing on the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
You do that once.
One of my favorite people on X, at Greg 16676935420. Greg.
Mm-hmm.
He put out a classic. He said, IRS. Well, it's like a script here. IRS. You owe us taxes. Me. How much do I owe? IRS. You get to figure that out. Me. Can I just pay what I want? IRS. No, we know exactly how much you owe, but you have to figure it out. Me. What if I'm wrong? Jail. Happy tax day, everybody. Actually, I think a good rule of thumb is just don't lie to them.
I love how, they owe you money, no interest. You owe them money, interest. Just that one-way street again.
There you go. Well, happy tax day, everybody. Happy theft day. Legal theft. It's legal theft. See, I've moderated in my libertarian tendencies on many things. And I used to say taxation is theft. I now say it's legal theft.
Maybe we could rebrand it to the love your government or bloated government.
Yes. Well, and in particular, income tax.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's one thing to charge me like a little bit for gas so you pave roads. It's another thing to go like, yeah, we're entitled to the fruits of your labor, a certain cut of it. I think it's a immense system of control, and it's awful. Absolutely awful.
It does provide a valuable lesson. Say you got a younger sibling, you've been trying to talk to them about the merits of conservatism, and they just don't want to listen. And then all of a sudden you get a phone call one day, and it's like, Byron, why is the government taking about 25% of my, my paycheck? It's like, bet you would have listened a little bit earlier now, huh?
Well, especially because a bunch of people got together like 80 years before you were born, young man, and they decided we're going to install these programs. And in a free society, that means those folks who are now dead get to have things imposed on you because we're going to keep the system going for kingdom come.
Ponzi scheme?
Well, I mean, a Ponzi scheme, you actually have to persuade people to keep paying in. And in the case of this so-called Ponzi scheme, they just tax new generations to keep the thing going. It really is such a scam. In particular, Social Security is sold on, it's your money, you have your own personal account. That's how they sold it. Very quickly, in order, as it got a Supreme Court challenge, like, no, this just goes into the general taxing power. And so it's not like you have an account that, is building value over time. It's more like, no, we spent on a bunch of other stuff. We're just going to tax the new people who are working and then pay you out as you're retiring. And it'll work out just fine, even though we have like 100 trillion, maybe I'm highballing that, of unfunded liabilities. It's unreal.
Was that under Boehner that the Republicans in D.C. really tried to make a push for individual retirement accounts?
I don't think it was Boehner. I think the last time they actually tried to do something was under George W. Bush.
Okay.
I believe that was the last time they actually tried to do something. That's why during that campaign, lockbox was such a big deal for Al Gore. Yeah, what a mess. What a mess. But hey, there's a lot going on in the news other than just talking about taxes and how the government's ripping people off with all the taxes they legally steal from you. We have a few missives put out today by Donald John Trump, the president of these here United States. The first one is on our farmers. Our farmers are great, but because of their greatness, they're always put on the front line with our adversaries, such as China, whenever there is a trade negotiation, and in this case, a trade war. The same thing happened in my first term. China was brutal to our farmers. These patriots to just hold, this is a typo, I guess. I tell these patriots to just hold on. And a great trade deal was made, or he told folks in the first term. I rewarded our farmers with a payment of $28 billion all through the China deal. It was a great transaction for the USA until crooked Joe Biden came in and didn't enforce it. China largely reneged on the deal, although they behaved during the Trump administration, only buying a portion of what they agreed to buy. They had zero respect for the crooked Biden administration, and who can blame them for that? Interestingly, they just reneged on the big Boeing deal, saying that they will not quote unquote, not take possession of fully committed to aircraft. The USA will protect our farmers is the final sentence in all caps. So that's Trump coming out today, and that is news that China is now cutting off Boeing contracts and deliveries that they had signed up on.
Some rare metals also, I believe.
Yeah, they're blocking certain rare earth materials from being exported into the United States. But that isn't all from Trump, President 47. He also put this out. Perhaps Harvard should lose its tax-exempt status and be taxed as a political entity if it keeps pushing political, ideological, and terrorist-inspired supporting sickness. Remember, tax-exempt status is totally contingent on acting in the public interest in all caps. I see this as taking on the real oligarchs. You know, lately AOC and Bernie Sanders and all these folks, these oligarchs taking over the government and all this stuff. Yeah, except for all the guys that are supporting y'all, right? No, I think it's not just people with money. If it was just people with money, go ask some people with money, especially folks who gave to the Democratic Party for years, how much were they in control of things? Mm-hmm. They weren't. They really were not. You got to give money like to the tune of what Soros and team gave. You got to set up foundations and shell companies and just, you got to have the real money if you really want to play. But if you give them $100 million over several years, yeah, they might invite you to a nice fancy dinner.
You think you got to get up into the hundreds of millions? You don't think 50 mil would get you?
Maybe 50 mil gets you a phone call. But no, I don't think a lot of those folks, especially the ones who have now flipped the Trump and team, had much sway at all. Yeah. Just because you have money in this country, especially if you're a Democrat, doesn't mean you control squat. The control is, for the longest time, well, until the breakdown with new media, was the corporate media. That was a massive means of control by the oligarchy. Then the other means of control, the universities, in particular, not just your state universities like Auburn and Alabama, God bless them. I mean like your top flight places that it's not so much everybody goes in and learns the exact same thing, though that does happen. The trendy ideas at Harvard and Princeton and yada, yada, even Brown. It's more that it creates this upper crust ruling class as a sorting mechanism. So it's who you know as you go through Harvard and Yale and whatnot. And you still get people that are ideologically divergent, like a Ben Shapiro goes to Harvard. He's a little away from most of the lefties we know. J.D. Vance went through Yale. He's not exactly in the same camp as a lot of the folks who went through Yale at the same time as him. So did, say, Vivek Ramaswamy. I think all their Yale classmates, their former classmates at Yale, wrote some nasty letter talking about we disown J.D. and Vivek and all these folks. But so it's media, it is academia, especially, say, the Ivy League, your top flight places that give that, you know, I'm a professor from Harvard. I'm like that. Ooh, well, I might have to listen to him. I mean, it's a Harvard guy. And we've learned over the years, especially with people being able to deconstruct nonsense in real time on the X platform and other social media, that a lot of these folks are not as impressive. We double down on learning that the experts often don't have expertise and instead engage in groupthink and big lies, say the whole COVID era. So it's the media, it's the Ivy League, and then what Doge is taking on, a lot of the administrative state. These are more the players. If you think it's just the oligarchy in this country is just a plutocracy, it's just a bunch of folks with money, or you think it's an aristocracy where it's something you inherit, no, not necessarily. It's more like, who are the cool kids? That's what it's more like.
Can you have one and not have the other, though? I mean, like, with money comes power, with power comes respect. Like, if you're a member of the club, you kind of have the checks, all the necessary checks.
Yeah, you need some money.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily have to be a net worth in the billions or even the hundreds of millions.
So long
you can be a Harvard professor and you just know the guy with the private jet. Right. Yeah, no, so like I view the American oligarchy as one that is more clerical. You know, they're not like, it's not like the Catholic clerisy running everything. It's not like Catholics or Protestants are running everything. It's not like the folks in Iran, like the clerics there, but it is sort of a secular, materialist philosophy. And so it's rule of the thinkers and the cool kids who get into that class of folks. It's very fashionable to where you even see some folks that used to be in the cool kids club are now persona non grata, and because they They were like, well, I was having a lot of fun in the club in the 90s, but then y'all got really weird. And I got to speak out about this. And then immediately they become the worst person in the world.
Or they stop paying their dues.
Yes. You get these sorts of things.
I equate it more to the mafia in that standpoint. You got to have your money ready every month if you want to keep sitting at the table.
So when Trump says perhaps Harvard should lose its tax-exempt status and be taxed as a political entity, I mean, that's a hell of one thing they've already done. The Trump and team, it's happening, is they're pulling a lot of federal funding from Harvard and the Ivy League.
Have they touched UPenn yet?
I don't know. I haven't seen Penn in particular. So, you're going to see Trump and them go after that. You're also seeing them. Trump asked Congress to claw back $1 billion in funding for PBS and NPR. Now that's the upper crust of media. That's like the real snooty. Like,
is that possible? Do they have that?
Yeah, no, and that $1 billion is nothing. I mean, that's like 1-2% of their budget, if I'm remembering correctly. They get most of their funding from donations. They'll be fine without federal funding.
Puppets are made out of socks, man.
Trump proposal also rescinds $8 billion in USAID funding. Trump and team really going to pull federal funding because Harvard and a lot of the Ivy League is pushing back on the anti-DEI orders and whatnot. But the real big thing would be, we're going to tax your $50 billion endowment, Harvard, and we're going to stop giving you $9 billion a year.
Can we stop doing that across the board? Higher education should be funded by the people attending.
Well, and Harvard's response has been to lean back on their motto, which is Latin for truth, veritas.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a great op-ed by Martin Kulldorff, one of the co-authors. He's an epidemiologist from Harvard. He was one of the co-authors of the Great Barrington Declaration, said we don't need to do all these crazy lockdowns and COVID. And he tried to debate his colleagues and all this stuff, and he figured out very quickly, veritas is not the actual point of Harvard. In a crisis, it's go along to get along. And if you challenge it, even with the correct credentials, even with the correct education, these people used to be friends of yours. They won't debate you in public.
He had the wrong truth, man. He had to have their truth.
Right. So I don't know if Trump's going to go that far, but to see that threat being made against the Ivy League, I think he's taking on the real oligarchs.
Joey, I was thinking about this earlier, man. Even if they put somewhat of a kibosh on this, the fact that he's exposed this and the people are aware, we're halfway there, man.
Yes.
I mean, the people have had the veils taken down. They can see.
We're living on a prayer.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Money for nothing, chits for free.
We also will get into the details of Trump's top foreign policy advisor, other than maybe Marco Rubio, Steve Witkoff, who's like a mini Trump. It's like, I literally wanted to be Mr. Trump. I think that's what he told Tucker Carlson. He just had a 5-hour meeting with Vladimir Putin and some advisors there at the Kremlin. That advisor, Steve Witkoff, says, quote unquote, permanent peace between Russia and Ukraine could be imminent after talks with Putin. He said it wasn't just a long 5-hour meeting to run out the clock. It was very productive. And it looks like we might have something we can work with here. There's a lot of good news, speaking of peace talks, coming out of talks with Iran, but the U.S. is not backing off, at least the military-industrial complex. A second U.S. aircraft carrier is now operating in the Middle East as those talks with Iran continue. Sticking to the Middle Eastern foreign policy, OPEC cuts global demand forecast, but will increase supply of oil. So it almost looks like certain big players in OPEC are playing along with, we want the cost of oil to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a bit of a big game of chicken. Like, who's going to cry uncle first? Is it going to be Russia? Or maybe it is certain American, say, companies are like, no, we need it like 70 something a barrel for us to be really profitable and all this. It's going to be interesting.
They're trying to tank it. Yeah, I mean,
they are trying to tank the administration. Trump administration is trying to bring down the cost of oil on purpose.
No, but I mean, the OPEC countries, if they're projecting, less demand and they're going to increase production,
that's going to tank the price even more.
Right. What do we need to operate around 90?
It depends on the company. It depends on who's actually doing
I mean, across the board, I think we have to be somewhere between like 80, 110.
And maybe those costs come down if you cut a lot of the regs and a lot of the review process and stuff. And I believe Doug Burgum at the Interior Department's been real big into that and greasing the skids there, as well as Lee Zeldin at EPA. We'll see how this works out. A lot of folks predicting U.S. manufacturing will not return to the United States, despite the tariffs. A lot of supply chains will go to other lower tariff countries, which, I mean, if you've listened to this conversation, even just a cursory little bit of it, yeah, there's going to be onshoring, like stuff we bring here, and it won't be, sorry to everybody, it won't be the old textile factories. It'll be different types of work, but you're also getting nearshore stuff. So say Trump makes it a quick deal with the Japanese and the South Koreans. Yeah, I think a lot of stuff moves to those countries.
I think some textile will come back. I think it's going to be.
It won't be the same thing.
It'll be contingent upon the community. You know, they're going to look around and see what skills, what kind of industry they've done in the past, what infrastructure's in place, and how quickly they can ramp it up and kind of modernize and get up to speed.
Well, I think if a lot of this AI manufacturing comes back, if you get more advanced manufacturing, even in something like textiles or autos, yada, 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 you should probably be telling your kid, go to trade school. Seriously. Or, I mean, if you want to get the degree and the technical know-how where you're coding the robots and you're actually running these advanced things, cool, go for it, kid. But if you're not into that sort of thing, like, they're going to need a lot of support systems to make these things hum and run. And then the great news is if you get even a factory that employs only 400 folks, say, in an area, that's a boon to, say, a 2,000 person town. That's huge. You can now have, remember, there's all these old town squares all around here. You get a factory that employs 300, 400 folks. You can now build the pizza parlor again. You can have the little shops and restaurants and all these support things that go into it, not to mention the folks that need to work HVAC and yada, 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 go down the line.
You can afford to put the white stripes on the Little League fields, man. I mean, for some of these communities, it was truly heartbreaking when the soul of some of these small towns were sucked up and sent overseas, man.
And of course, it kind of pains me to even bring this up. Have you been following this Karmelo Anthony, not the basketball player? It's Karmelo with a K. The Karmelo Anthony case, he was just released after having his bail reduced, I think, from $1 million to $250K. It was a track meet. I think it's 17-year-olds. And Karmelo, there's kind of a lull in the meet. Everybody's kind of sitting around. Karmelo sits next to the Metcalf twins. And they say, well, your team's over there. You should move, man. Apparently there's verbal exchange. I don't know exactly what was said. He shoved. Karmelo shoved by one of the twins. Karmelo then takes out a knife and stabs a kid in the heart. Kid dies in his twin brother's arm. He's now been released on reduced bail. And apparently there's been $400,000 raised for Karmelo's family. Not for legal fees, but to get by while the father takes time off work. We have a clip that really is my point about this, because I've seen all the stuff online. After the announce of his release, and he'll essentially be under home arrest with, the ankle bracelet and whatnot. You're seeing a lot of folks online say, just go to the Montgomery groups on Facebook, where immediately this becomes a racial thing.
This is the first I've heard about it, man.
Right. But it's a shame. I mean, it is what it is.
Was there good video, or I shouldn't say
I don't
good
think
video.
so. No, I don't think there's clear video. I think it is just eyewitness testimony. Let me go all the way back to April the 3rd, 12 days ago. April the 3rd. This is the father of the twins and of the young man that was killed. It was an interview with Fox News. And let's just listen to the beginning of it. Because it really has become this football online, to where folks are not bringing up the Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin case, George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin. They're bringing up Kyle Rittenhouse. They're bringing up all these past cases. And I've said for a long time, even before I was hosting, I really think trying to make a point about our communities, and in particular race relations in our communities, if the touch points become these chaotic, violent events, you're not improving squat. It inflames the passions. It gets everybody riled up. And it seems like a piss poor way of actually engaging one another.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the father. Let's listen in to his initial request 12 days ago. I guess the world doesn't listen to these sorts of things.
year-old boy and an older man who's now making his own way in the world. I just can't imagine how you're facing the rest of your life without your son. I wanted to ask you this question. I know, 17 years old, amazing. And he was an amazing kid too. We'll get you to speak about him in just a moment. But I think a lot of people at home are saying, wait a second, how does this happen? He goes to a track meet on Wednesday and is murdered. What happened?
I wish I had all the answers. The answer is my son is gone and he'll never come home again. I want to clarify something right off.
And the son who died is named Austin Metcalf. Austin Metcalf. But let's hear this thing he wants to address right off the bat.
To start, because I've already heard some rumors and gossip. This was not a race thing, and this is not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened. Do not turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not politicize this. It's not. This is a human being thing. This person made a bad choice, and it affected both his family and my family forever. It's a very unfortunate thing, but I know exactly what was happening. His brother was there who tried to save him, and he died in his arms. So if you weren't there, please don't spread rumors.
Well, that was 12 days ago. Would you believe that now millions of people have talked about it and they've made it a political and racial thing?
Because it's not.
By they, I mean everybody.
It's not about the family and their wishes. No, got to be selfish and turn it into something else.
And here the father's going to describe, at least from his perspective, what happened. This will, of course, play out in court.
His twin brother Hunter was there, and as we pointed out at the top of this, his twin brother tried to save him, couldn't save him, and Austin died in his arms. He spent the last moments of his life in his brother's arms as he went to meet God. But what did Hunter tell you happened?
Well, the track meet was being delayed. Each individual high schools had like their own little tents to go sit under, and they were sitting under the Memorial High School tent. The individual was saying some words, and they turned to him and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Mello." And he said, and he had a Centennial track sweat on. He said, "Hey man, you're in the wrong spot. You need to go sit with your team." Words were then exchanged. I'm not going to get into the exact details. I know what my son told me, but they asked him to move. And when Austin grabbed his backpack to move, take it, he stabbed him in the chest and killed him.
Oh my gosh. You know, we're seeing a picture of Austin on the screen right beside you. Just a
that's his last high school.
Just an incredibly handsome fellow. We know that he was college bound. He had a 4.0 grade point average, MVP of his football team. What else do you want the nation to know about him?
He was becoming a great man. He had leadership capabilities, loyalty, compassion, love. He lit up the room everywhere he went. He's loved. Last night there was a vigil, very impromptu vigil at our church, Hope Fellowship. Over 1,700 people plus showed up. The outreach of this community, family, friends, people who don't even know me, has been overwhelming. I rely heavily on my faith to get me through this. Like I said, people ask me, how can you forgive to this other person? I said, I forgive the other person because the forgiveness is not for him. The forgiveness is for me, so I can have peace.
And if you notice, if you're not watching, folks, the father's wearing a shirt that says faith over fear. And you're right, Byron, I wasn't paying close attention to this story either. I'd seen it in the background, I'd seen it going. Often folks can look back. I don't often get into the details of all these violent events that turn into these high-profile court cases. Because I think when you're in a court case, number one, you could maybe cover it all day, every day as an outsider. It's not the same thing as being in the jury box having to make that decision. It's not the same
I'm
thing.
just going back to my days, like running track.
Yeah.
And we were in a way less violent time than we are now. And they were already installing like metal detectors on entranceways into stadiums. So I'm trying to figure out how this kid, snuck a knife into the event. It's just weird. It's tragic, heartbreaking.
But I had largely said that this is going to play out. We'll see. And then I keep seeing on all these local Montgomery groups, just the worst.
But kudos to the father, man. I can't imagine the emptiness in his soul right now, and for him to still have some sort of godliness about him, that's a testament.
I mean, but like I'm seeing stuff like, y'all weren't worried about Rittenhouse having an AR-15 while you worried about him having a knife. And so it's already just, it's like, whatever.
We got to get away from that. We cannot look at, y'all acted this way on this event. We didn't act anyway in that event, the same way that you didn't act anyway on this event.
But folks, but I'm seeing it. It's not just like Montgomery groups. It's Twitter.
It's everywhere, man.
X or where it's everywhere. And it's sort of the sound and fury and wailing and gnashing of teeth in the general public. And it's
drawing horns on the other side.
Yeah. Where these two kids, the father was right about this. It upends both families' lives forever.
Mm-hmm.
The two kids are just playthings in the latest battle in the war, whatever you want to call it. It's a shame.
Two families destroyed. Man lost his life, or a young man lost his life, and the other young man who was involved, he basically lost his life too, man. It's heartbreaking.
Eddie Bader's here. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Sorry you had to walk in on such a serious thing, but it was bothering me this morning. As I'm looking at it, I'm like, and to see, I looked up, what does the family have to say? And 12 days ago, that's what the father pleaded with folks. So, let me play it again. This is what he pleaded just 12 days ago.
The answer is, my son is gone and he'll never come home again. I want to clarify something right off the start, because I've already heard some rumors and some gossip. This was not a race thing, and this is not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened. Do not turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not politicize this. It's not. This is a human being thing. This person made a bad choice, and it affected both his family and my family forever. It's a very unfortunate thing, but I know exactly what was happening. His brother was there who tried to save him, and he died in his arms.
And he was charged with murder one.
He was charged with murder. I don't know if it was murder one, and was just released yesterday with a reduced. It was initially $1 million. I think bail reduced to $250K.
This is in Texas too.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So it sounds like a lot of folks, father can make the plea. They ain't listening. They ain't listening at all. Just another day in the news. Like I said, another plaything for all of us to get pissed off at each other about. Anyway. 272-9228. Real quick before I hit this break. Have you seen the latest videos about the Tesla full self-driving? Like Rogan's putting stuff out about it. And I've watched recent videos, folks who are Tesla enthusiasts who are still like, and watching just the video, like it was just GoPros. The car's pretty much driving itself. And the guy to take over in a construction site had to take over all of a sudden when it was a weird, like 5-way stop and there's a truck honking behind him. Go, you're driving like an old lady. And I was unnerved. Just watching the video.
Especially if you're not used to any of that kind of technology. I remember, honestly, Joy, the first time seeing a robot spray paint a car.
Yeah.
I was like, this just looks unholy. This is not what it's supposed to be. But
apparently
after
the latest
1,000 times, you're like, okay.
Well, somebody put out a video the other day saying, I think my Tesla tried to kill me last night, or I thought it did. And then I realized what happens. They're going pretty quick on the interstate. This must have been in Texas or California. I can't remember which one. Saw the video real quick this morning. In the dark, they're going down the interstate. All of a sudden, the car jerks across the yellow line. And they're like, what the heck? And all of a sudden, it jerked right on the left, a bike came speeding over 100 miles an hour. And so the Tesla was able to see that bike coming, moved all of a sudden, so there wasn't a collision.
Yeah.
And Elon's putting out there going, yeah, this will be safer than human beings going forward. But the problem is it has to be 100 times better than human beings.
Oh, yeah.
1,000 times better than human beings. We kind of accept that people make mistakes on the road. Maybe we accept too much, but we accept that. Your robot kills one person.
No mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're promising the robo-taxis, all this stuff. I don't know. That's a fascinating topic we can get into a little later in more detail, but what a mess. What a mess. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And what Josh sent me this morning made me so happy. It's another one of these custom designs made by Josh.
Mm-hmm.
We've been telling you for a while, the man truly is an artist, but it's not just, he makes beautiful things, or he makes things exactly as you foresaw them, that you dreamed them up, and he was able to make that vision a reality. No, he makes things that, I'll just read what he put on Facebook today.
All right.
Josh writes, we had a client come in with their mother's wedding set and wanted to make something using that metal. We created this by bending and straightening the wedding set into this cross pendant. It still has some of the Mars indents Mom put on the metal. It's what we can make for you. It is absolutely beautiful. And it's not overdone. It is it is a beautiful cross that keeps that sense. It's like you could still feel it. There's a tactile remembrance there. So again, it's not just beautiful things they make in the sense that it's aesthetic beauty. It's a great way to remember somebody you might have lost. Or it could be, you want to have some fun, have a fun, fresh time out on the town. Maybe I'll start going out again with you as my wingman. And
be ready.
He was my wingman the other night. We didn't pick up any chicks, but it was a good time. It was good sushi.
Oh, you talking about me?
Yeah, that was good sushi.
I was going to be like, well, no kidding, you didn't. But then I'd be throwing stones at myself. I'm sorry, Joey, I let you down.
But go check this out on Facebook. Just type in Dillon Rings. You can see this work, this custom design work done by the man himself, Josh, and look at it yourself. Or you can always stop by 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway, sort of the back end entrance to the AUM complex where the old fun zone used to be. And we'll tell you a little more about Dillon Rings, their full service jewelry shop. But if you stop by in between, just tell them that Joey and Eddie and Byron, those fellas on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Alabama weather will never fail to surprise you. Our lawns hardly get a chance to have any downtime. And as usual, it's already time to start getting ready for spring. This year, save the hard work and aggravation and call Alabama Lawns, the River Region's leader in weed control and fertilization services. What makes Alabama Lawns the River Region's best? It's the people. They have the experience, education, and commitment to customer satisfaction. Ask your neighbors. Alabama Lawns has been the Montgomery Advertiser's Reader's Choice Award winner 13 years in a row. The Alabama Lawn staff is made up of long-term employees and agronomy graduates, and the staff at Alabama Lawns attend annual continuing education classes. It pays to have someone that knows southern grass types and how to keep them green and flourishing. Call Alabama Lawns today at 272-7171 and let them show you real value in a lawn maintenance service. Alabama Lawns, the company with black trucks and green lawns. 272-7171.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Woodward, account executive with Blue Water Broadcasting. Why should you advertise with us? Radio is an active medium. It can create immediacy, driving shoppers to a specific store, brand, or to take a specific action. Radio ads engage with the audience in a personal and unique way. Contact me, Cheryl Woodward, by going to bluewaterbroadcasting.com to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Today is cooler by about 11 degrees from yesterday. Still not bad. High temperature up to about 73. A little breezy by this afternoon. Clouds will eventually give way to sunshine. Clear skies, chilly tonight. Overnight low 45. Wednesday's a nice day, up to about 74 with sun. Warming to 82 by Thursday. Mid to upper 80s on Good Friday and Saturday. I think there'll be a lot of sunshine, too. Easter Sunday is still dry and storm-free, but mostly cloudy, high 86. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More. Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader and Byron Sheehy here in the studio with me. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Let's go to the phones. Sam has been waiting the longest. Hey, Sam, how you doing?
Hey, Joey. Thank you for taking my call. No, listen, brother, it's the tragedy that you were talking about. The two athletes, one that stabbed the other. You know, it's not a black thing, but it is not. My argument is that it's a stupid thing, but still, I just wanted to say I saw the newscast last night out of Texas and a couple things, and what really just nailed it home to me about just how damn stupid this is the family. They decided that the $400,000 that they raised on their GoFundMe page for his defense, well, they need to buy a new home. It's just too dangerous where they are, and they want to hire some security, brothers and cousins and stuff. Well, that's a rumor, excuse me, but they do want to hire some security and buy a new home. They floated that, so it's terrible. That's the kind of tragedy we're looking at. Good person killed, young man's life ruined, admitted he did the murder right there on the spot to the police. And the family's going to get locked up for for wanting to move. So that was my take on that. It's just, but and it's.
It's a similar point I made when we had a much less tragic situation going on here in Montgomery with the Riverfront Brawl, and it was more like seeing my own stupid fat face on Fox News on Special Report with Brett Baer, where I'm like, yeah, it's all within 2 minutes, I guess, accurate, but it doesn't. It just seems like the latest thing of the day, and it's come and gone. And we all do this because when you consume the news and you talk about it, but sometimes when it rises to such tragedy, you're like, man, just give it a rest.
Joey, the judge that reduced the bail from $1 million to $250,000. Of course, he paid 10% of that, $25,000. This isn't a black thing, but she is a woman of color, and she's. It reminds me of like the Shakira law, where they have a place has their own little set of rules and values, local values and standards. And that's
also you could say he doesn't have a former record; he's a juvenile.
I know.
Like we can hold him without him running away.
Murder in front of God and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's uncontrollable.
Well, how many murderers get out on bail here?
Let's start somewhere. But here he has a joke.
No, Joey, the local youth here, remember, I had someone say this to me. They are disfranchised and they're seeking opportunities, okay? So that's how they're going about it.
They can start by getting their butts in school, man. Start there.
No, that did you watch that video the Taboo channel put out? I guess it's some guy from London where he came and interviewed a bunch of folks in the hood here in Montgomery.
I saw the YouTube movie.
I watched it.
Okay, I haven't seen the whole thing, but I've seen clips of it last night.
What's
your thoughts?
already had folks saying, "Oh, where people are killed every day in cold blood. That's sensationalist. We'd have 360 something murders." I'm like, okay, if we're being literal, where people are killed in cold blood every week.
Depending on the week, sometimes it is
sometimes it's more than one. But like, yes, it's a YouTube video headline. Of course, that's going to be the headline to be sensational. That's how, again, sadly, the world in our viral media world works these days. But if you actually watch it, man, there's so many takeaways. Just because, we've had these conversations with folks, especially the more political types, and they talk around, and these kids don't have the opportunity to stuff. And when you hear it directly from who some are very much kids, some in their early 20s. One guy's like, yeah, I was shot in the face when I was 16. You can see he doesn't have a eye. Yeah, it looked like he was shot in the face. A guy asking, have you ever been shot at? And shot at, I've been shot 10 times, pulls up his shirt. You can see where he's stitched all the way up his abdomen, different scars all over him. At one point, they blur the kid's face, but it must have been like a 12, 13-year-old kid. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. See, when these kids get a taste of it, like, and he's asking, what if somebody came up and said, we need a truce? They're like, no, it's too far gone now. Asking some older folks, like, yeah, we fought back in the day, especially for different neighborhoods, but we'd often be buddies afterwards and we'd kill each other. Now these kids are so prideful. Like, he disrespected me, he embarrassed me publicly. Social media adds fuel to that fire of the public embarrassment that they go to the most extreme. And the amount of weapons on the street, they blurred all the weapons, but you can see this is some pretty heavy-duty stuff that they're just carrying around. And it's like, it's not, you could go, I'm getting word they've all been in county jail, by the way, too. You can go and live your life here in Montgomery and never run into that in many ways. Like, I've lived here my whole life. I've never had run-ins with those folks. But it helped explain the explosion of homicides after 2020. It gives, from those folks' own point of view, this is what we're about. This is the life we're about. We're making money. I mean, it's a sort of, we're making do on our own. We're making money. We're doing these things. And a lot of them are like, we're going to keep living this way. It's what we know. And then you had other interesting commentary of folks who do right, say, go to college. They don't come back.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Rightfully so.
Why would you
see that environment?
Why
you're
would
like,
you? Yeah.
Why would you? So
Why
it's sort of this self-perpetuating thing. I'm of the opinion that one of my main takeaways is what I've been saying on the show is certain streets here, certain neighborhoods in Montgomery, they ain't the city of Montgomery's.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous. The society that we live in, there are, and I'm sure it's in every state, but there are cities in this town, our town, that you don't feel like you should be in. Yeah. Why hasn't something been addressed with that? I mean, I grew up on those streets, and you could tell people that belong and those who don't, but it's to me, it's a big thing of not holding folks accountable for their behavior at a very young age. And you just keep kicking that can down the road, and we're going to hug it out of them. We're going to hug it out of them. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Well, I wrote about this a few months back. I said crime is a tragic failure of the will. And I meant that of like the guy who did grow up in the worst possible environment, all the disadvantages, or the guy who's the white collar criminal who's, running, he's some sociopath that runs some corporation or is in Congress or something. Some folks do things because they're no damn good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just circumstances. Circumstances don't help. But are there folks that are in those awful circumstances here in Montgomery that don't do that? Yes. In fact, that's the vast majority of people. And at a certain point, when these folks are asked to their face, if you wanted a truce, peace, like, no, they don't want it.
I wonder how many could actually explain the genesis or where the actual feud started, other than, well, I was just told that they had to be our enemy because that's just the way that it was.
Sometimes it's over stupid stuff. Sometimes it's like somebody was shooting at one person, they accidentally hit somebody else. Now that one person you accidentally hit, their folks are coming back for a reprisal.
Right.
And it just snowballed.
Going back to the video, and
it's crazy.
I haven't watched it. Were most of the people in it teenagers or young 20s?
Most of them look like teenagers or young 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they asked some folks, what's your age? Like somewhere in their young 20s, they said. And it's just, it's a raw look. They bring up also particular music culture around here. They did a lengthy interview with Charles Lee. That's my child and that's my dog. It's talking about how he has employed a lot of young kids and whatnot. I mean, they bring up the whole, is there still racism in Alabama? I'm like, yeah. But I mean, part of me I thought was a little. That's not the reason.
That's such a tired question, though. There is racism. I don't care where you go in the world. Yeah. I've found racism. But to me, there's no more here in Montgomery, Alabama, than if we were to go just about anywhere else I've ever been in the U.S.
Honestly, I think race relations in Montgomery are better than
most
places.
I explained that to that doctor guy I took around. He was from Africa, and he lived in South Carolina. And he said, the company that's trying to hire him is trying to talk him into coming here. Why should he come here? And we drove around, and he said, there's a lot of black people in Montgomery, and that makes me feel comfortable. But I've always heard there are bad race relations. And so I told him, look, dude, I've been here since I was a kid, been in and out of this place. Some of the best race relations I've ever seen were right here in this city because we've been through that.
Yep.
We don't want to repeat it. I know I can't live without you. You got to have me in your life as well.
Well, and I know,
we just accepted it.
I know for a fact the city found that video just an embarrassment.
I'm sure, but did they really? Have they done anything about it?
Should they be shocked?
No, they're not shocked.
No.
The police know who these kids are. I'm sure they know exactly who every single person on camera was.
Yeah.
And then, it was brought to my attention, like, why do you need this statewide law to get rid of, like, Glock switch and stuff, even if you're already confiscating weapons that are illegal? They're like, well, okay, we send them, they're indicted federally. How many months does it take for a federal grand jury to actually, bring charges?
But again, we know the problem.
In the meantime, they continue on their way.
I mean, think of how screwed up the entire system is. The cops know who these people are.
Of course.
And we can't solve it.
Right.
Why?
272-9228. It's 334-272-9228. It does, because you see it as stats, or you see like, the homicide numbers are up, especially after COVID, and it was blamed on COVID, it was blamed on this and that, and then you see these folks proudly on camera talk about this stuff, and it's not just all like. I would encourage folks, if you have the capability, look past the language and the posing and the posture and just the whole presentation and try. There is some nuance to their point of view, but it's sad at the end of the day. Again, another freaking tragedy. At the end of the day, whether you're talking about crooks in Wall Street or crooks in the government or criminals on the streets and impoverished areas in the city, some folks are no damn good. They need to be treated accordingly. Take back your city.
Yeah.
City of Montgomery.
What was the official statement from the mayor's office?
I don't know if I've seen
one. I don't think
one.
I've seen one.
Nothing on Twitter?
No, probably won't need to be.
But hey, I've talked too long. I got to hit a break. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Come celebrate Saturday nights at Riverwalk Stadium with the Max Fireworks Show. Every home Saturday post-game Max Fireworks will light up the sky out past left field. Plus, we have special Max Fireworks shows on opening night and July 3rd. Check out the best fireworks show in Alabama on Saturday nights at Riverwalk Stadium. For tickets and more information, visit biscuitsbaseball.com or call the box office at 323-BALL.
For over 40 years, Headley Plumbing has been fixing the River Region's plumbing problems with fast, affordable service. The pros at Headley are ready to respond anytime you need help, and they charge fair rates for their expert service. They help River Region homes and businesses every day, from repairing leaky faucets, septic tank service, replacing damaged sewer lines, or just unstopping a blocked drain. Trust the experts at Headley Plumbing. Call 285-3667. Headley Plumbing, 285-3667. Remember Headley's motto, in our business, a flush beats a full house.
Headley Metal Buildings has been your source for quality metal buildings in the River Region since 2007. Carports up to 24 feet wide, RV covers, storage buildings, even a sturdy metal barn up to 54 feet wide. Your structure can be customized, installed on level ground, and comes with a 20-year warranty. Let Headley Metal Buildings help you find the perfect solution. Financing available. Call 285-3667 for details or find Headley Metal Buildings on Facebook.
Jenny King, the king of clean, delivers reliable, high-quality commercial cleaning services through a proven franchise model that empowers local business owners. Jenny King's franchise owners receive the training, support, and resources needed to succeed, while clients benefit from tailored cleaning solutions backed by a global brand. Jenny King ensures consistent results, trust, and success for everyone we serve. Go to JennyKingCleans.com and find out how we can help you. That's JennyKingCleans.com.
Jenny King, the king of clean.
Live local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark. This part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you whether you're looking to buy or sell here in the Montgomery or surrounding areas. Bo's been working, for half a century, I think, at this point, 50 years in the River Region real estate market. And he and the team are ready to help you not only if you're looking to buy or sell property, they can also help you if you're looking to rent out that property of yours, rent out your home. And the Goodson Group is also the home for the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed and accredited real estate programs in the state of Alabama. So check them out today. You can always go online to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson, the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program. Let's go to Soldier Boy. How you doing?
What up, Soldier Boy?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Sir.
What's up?
And I use that term lightly, a couple of you.
I hope so.
I don't want to get your heads too big. I just went to a fast food restaurant, and there was a young man there. Seemed very polite, very well-mannered and everything. And I guess he gravitated to me for some reason. I don't know why when I was eating, And he says, yeah. And he says, I said, how do you like your job? He goes, well, I want to do something better. I want to do something with my life.
Yeah.
And he acknowledged that and realizes that, and he came to me about it. And being prior military and retired, I mentioned I'm going to sell the military. So I told him, I said, you ever thought about joining the military? Oh, no, not me. I go, why is that? He says, they've been giving you orders and you got they'll tell you what to do every minute. I said, young man, there's not a job in this country where somebody works and doesn't have somebody telling them what to do. Period.
Yep.
I guess that, and even the president has to listen to his constituents, I mean, come on. He listens to his advisors too. That's why he's got advisors for it. I guarantee he listens to Melania when she speaks.
Of course.
But the bottom line is everybody has to answer to somebody. And that, I guess that hit pretty deep with him,
Yeah.
But it's like these young kids want more. He was a minority, but they could tell they want more. I mean, he had a tattoo on his neck, and I'm like, good God, what? I didn't even bring that up because I guess that was a troubled time in his life. He wasn't making great choices. Okay. But I looked at him, I said, you know what? He's still redeemable. He's still fixable, like a Geppetto syndrome, he can still be fixed. And society doesn't see that.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I suggested to him. It is, and they fall into these problems. I mean, you see all these shootings and killings and everything. We had a couple, 2 within 15 hours past weekend?
Yeah.
The bottom line is nobody has any respect for life. Is life that not important?
Well, they asked those guys in that video, and they all go, no, it's different than that. We all respect life. And they claim essentially it's because you destroyed the life I care about. I got to take your life. Yeah. But seriously, it's a fascinating interview. And don't just look at it on the surface level. Like really try to listen. It's like it's an alien planet, honestly. Like I'm born and raised here. It's crazy.
Well, there are people in places in this town if you disrespect them or they think you disrespected them, and you try to explain, how did I disrespect you? They want to shoot and kill you right on the spot.
Yep.
That's our response.
Yep.
And that's got to start.
Well, and these sorts of problems have existed in all sorts of different types of societies over the many long years of what we call human history. And people did figure out ways to get over it and to change and to actually change our stars. It's just a matter of folks got to start making better choices. It's not just like a few. I said it yesterday, privately, publicly, and it also involves a little luck.
I mean, look at the period during the 1950s when we had My Three Sons and Ozzie and Harriet. This stuff didn't even come up in discussion.
Yeah.
Because another bottom line is we don't have strong fathers. I watched this video. What was it on a TED Talk? Was that TED show?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there's a black pastor, and he was really interesting. And he tells, the women about getting pregnant and everything, and young people having children, too young. And he said, I like what he said. He says, men in the community have to step up, be it the grandfather, the uncle, the brother, the nephew, the cousin.
Yeah.
Because these young men need examples. They need guidance. And
honest, in that YouTube video, that YouTube documentary everybody's watching, there are a lot of folks who said the same thing. This is the main reason is lack of fathers in these homes. And when it's just a single mom, she's trying her darndest. And that's not always the case, by the way. I know we're not supposed to say that. But even the single mom who really is trying her best, good luck.
Single moms are trying to do their best. Exactly. They're trying to do that. They make bad choices. Okay. Yeah. And you gotta live with the bottom line is you got a life and a child there that you have to, They had a study one time they showed in Africa. They had these elephants, okay, male elephants that were older and young ones, okay. And so when they took the old male elephants out and put them in a different section of the place, guess what? The young elephants started tearing up the huts and destroying stuff. Guess what happens when they brought back the male dominant males? The crap stopped because they had examples. They had men, older people in their lives to be example for.
There you go.
I mean, elephants even. Elephants. I mean, we learn from elephants.
Very, very intelligent creature.
But if you're like they say, so goes education, so goes Montgomery. That's a large party. I mean, I see how many kids don't even go to school. What is it? Since COVID, how many? What's the percentage have gone down in kids?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it's definitely a lot of folks have not returned.
I think it was 30 plus.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. It was like 30, 35.
Soldier Boy, I got to hit my top of the hour break. I appreciate it, man.
All right, guys.
See you, Soldier Boy.
We'll be right back. And just one quick note. Go watch that video, not as like some sensationalist thing. There's a lot more to it than just like what you might see on first glimpse. But we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scum. A second U.S. aircraft carrier operating in Mideast waters. That's ahead of the next round of talks between Iran and the U.S. over Tehran's nuclear program. Questions remain over the weekend talks between the countries where they will be held, though Iran's supreme leader described the first round of negotiations as going well. An Israeli airstrike has struck the northern gate of a field hospital in the Gaza Strip. The military has struck hospitals on several occasions during the 18-month war, accusing the Hamas terrorists of hiding out in them or using them for military purposes. Diplomats and aid officials from around the world, they're meeting in London to try to ease the suffering from the 2-year-old war in Sudan. On Wall Street, the Dow dropping 76 points. The NASDAQ is 45 in the red. This is SRN News.
3 years ago, I wrapped up a run of Annie playing Daddy Warbucks with the South Carolina Children's Theater. I was about 40, 50 pounds overweight, tired, sick, fed up with the way I felt. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I had to do something. I scheduled my weight loss consultation with PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. And as they say, the rest is history. Just a few months, I lost over 50 pounds. I took control of my health. 3 years later, I've kept the weight off and I feel better than ever. If you are where I was, do what I did. Call PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. It'll change your life. It's fast and simple. They won't let you fail. Just give them a call at 855-696-2020 to schedule your weight loss consultation. That's 855-696-2020. 855-696-2020. Here's the best part. First 11 callers who mention the keyword healthy will get 2 free weeks added to their weight loss package. Don't wait. Call today. 855-696-2020. Mention healthy to get 2 free weeks or visit them at myphdweightloss.com, myphdweightloss.com.
Rich Thomas weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend. Must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Today is cooler by about 11 degrees from yesterday. Still not bad. High temperature up to about 73. A little breezy by this afternoon. Clouds will eventually give way to sunshine. Clear skies, chilly tonight. Overnight low 45. Wednesday's a nice day, up to about 74 with sun. Warming to 82 by Thursday. Mid to upper 80s on Good Friday and Saturday. I think there'll be a lot of sunshine, too. Easter Sunday is still dry and storm-free, but mostly cloudy, high 86. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Representative Barry Moore of Alabama introduced the Why Does the IRS Need Guns Act on Monday. The bill would prohibit the IRS from using appropriated funds to purchase, receive, or store any firearms or ammunition. The bill would also require the IRS to transfer any firearms or ammunition currently under their control. The Alabama Department of Workforce will be hosting a job fair in Montgomery this week. Wednesday will be designated for high school seniors, with Thursday morning for veterans and persons with disabilities. The general public is welcome Thursday afternoon. Multiple state agencies will be at the multiplex at Crampton Bowl both Wednesday and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Montgomery's W.A. Gale Planetarium has appointed William Lee Tinker as its new director. Tinker plans to continue the planetarium's tradition of educating and inspiring the Montgomery community. The W.A. Gale Planetarium has been bringing the extraterrestrial a little closer to home since 1968. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Since 1966, Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches has been more than just a place to stay. It's been a place to belong. For children facing hardships through no fault of their own, our ranches provide more than shelter. We offer a warm home, a loving family, and a future filled with hope. With open arms, we welcome these young hearts, giving them the love, structure, and guidance they need to heal, grow, and thrive in a warm Christian environment. Together, we can give Alabama's children the chance they deserve, a chance to dream, to succeed, and to feel truly cherished. Every donation stays within Alabama, directly impacting the lives of the children who need it most. Join us in making a difference. Visit alabamasheriffsyouthranches.org. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and download our app from your app store. We'd be honored to have you as a part of our mission to lift up Alabama's youth. And remember this, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Second hour here of the program. Really is a beautiful day here in Montgomery, Alabama. Eddie Bader in the studio, as is Byron Sheehy. And, a name I hadn't seen on the call board in quite some time, Dr. Ken. Hey, Ken, how you doing?
Doing well. Thank you, Joey. Entertained by your program. The subject of which is sort of forced on all of us by the actions of one 16-year-old who has been missing some instruction along the line. And the suggestion has been on your program, not by you, that what's missing is a male figure, and that somewhere there's an uncle or a grandfather, or even a nephew that ought to step in. I'd like to put in a motion for recognition of the young man that is the most intimately involved, and that is the sire, but not yet acting as a parent, or the child, the infant that he helped to procreate. If either he or if the mother should suddenly throw up her hands, and let's face it, a lot of them do. They do this privately, but if they publicly leave the child in a dangerous place, in a dangerous situation, they can be arrested and charged with child neglect.
Yeah.
Well, there is another parent involved, and if people say that it would be hard for an accusation by the mother and that's a sticky situation, well, there is definitely an eyewitness and even a participant in the act who could swear with great confidence that she was the definite eyewitness who could identify the father of this child. And if necessary, it could be proved by, not by a blood test, but by DNA analysis. Now, that, I know that sounds futuristic and not attainable, but I think it's preferable to accepting the fact that the child is neglected by 50% of his parents, and that person goes free, and ignoring that and have the product to be what we're seeing now with male children particularly, but a lot of females even, that have no sense of responsibility to society.
Well, you're right. Yeah, and we talk about there's an authority crisis in general across the board, and for sometimes good reason, but especially the authority of the home being in crisis. I think it spills out into a lot of different fields and has a lot of different consequences. And God bless the people that are, strong enough and lucky enough to be able to overcome an awful situation, but not enough can.
Yeah, absolutely right. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate it, Ken. Great hearing from you, sir. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. It's depressing. It's tragic. It's like, I don't feel like yelling and screaming about it. I'll leave that to other folks, honestly.
It's not going to do any good to yell and scream, man.
I know. I mean, there are definitely moments of frustration. Definitely. Now, this is going to not be a palate cleanser for anybody who hates Donald Trump, which I know there are a few of you who listen.
Can't believe there's people out there that hate Donald Trump.
But did you see Trump did a interview where it was for the Spanish-speaking Fox News?
No, I missed it. But now I did. Does he go into El Trumpo mode?
And, well...
Do they call him El Trumpo?
I think it's Megan Campus Duffy. We would probably recognize her from Fox. This is a short clip, and I almost let it play on repeat on my phone earlier because I just love it so much.
Oh, jefe.
She is, well, I'll just play the clip. Let's listen in.
Mr. President, I'd like to teach you how to say, let's make America great again in Spanish. So, vamos a hacer América grande otra vez.
America grande otra vez.
Mr. President, I'd like to teach you how to say, let's make America great again in Spanish. So, vamos a hacer América grande otra vez.
America grande otra vez.
Should have been like, nope. This
Don't
is
see him
America.
going on Telemundo anytime
America
soon.
grande
otra vez.
Assimilate into our country, learn how to say that in English.
Yeah, I got a feeling he'd be like, they speak better English than I
He
speak
already
Spanish.
he already did that with the first press conference where I believe it was an Afghani woman.
Yeah.
And she said something, and he's like listening, and from the press pool, and he's listening. You can tell he's not getting it. He goes, "Well, you have such a beautiful accent, but I can't understand what you're saying." Next,
who did he have in there yesterday? Was that Argentina's president
no, that was El Salvador's president.
that said,
Cooley,
I miss you already?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
All I could think about is just one of those Latin movies where you have the Latin lover, and before the girl goes, he's, I miss you already.
Why do you think he's taking language classes?
América grande otra vez.
America grande otra vez.
I miss you already.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
The dad is very involved with Karmelo Anthony, apparently, because they went, the court and prosecutor and all this. It was released an hour ago. They're moving to, they're taking the $400,000 raised, and it doesn't have to be used for legal funds, is
Right.
what they're saying.
So they're moving to a new
buying
house.
A new
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, living in a gated community for security. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we touched on
they're-
that last hour, and it's there you
They're
go.
involved with the money, that's for sure. The problem is kids are too lazy nowadays to fight. So, and it was just a fight, is all it was, and all it would have been. But you don't pull a knife on somebody in a fight. You get your butt whooped or whatever. I remember one time I was in junior high school. This guy outweighed me by 50 pounds, which, in junior high school, 50 pounds is a lot. Great big giant guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a lot taller than me, too. We're going to fight. We got off the bus. I didn't do anything to cause the fight that I remember. But anyway, probably did. My smart mouth, probably. And got off the bus, and I got a punch off. I hit him in the nose. He started bleeding. And Buddy, the fight was over. He held his head up and everything. He's bleeding, and he's walking back to his house.
Yep.
And we were best friends after that. See, that's the way you do a fight.
I agree.
No, and actually,
Many of those
again,
fights.
that YouTube documentary I watched, talking about more of the gang problems, Montgomery said, yeah, back in the day, people would just fight, and then half the time you end up friends after the fight. After getting your butt whooped, now these
100% of the time.
Yeah.
It's just two males challenging each other, two male youths. That's all that is.
It's just when you bring knives and guns into it, it's a completely different thing. Karmelo was crying with the police officer going to the police car, and they were saying he alleged to do it. He goes, "No, I did it."
Wow.
And he was crying. He was bawling. And he said, "Is he going to be okay?" And of course, they even gave him blood, under the tent and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a fight, and you don't bring a knife to a fight, and that's just the way kids are. He'll probably get a second degree, 5 years suspended
5 to
sentence,
10.
5 years probation.
Yeah.
That'll be it. But no, it wasn't racial at all.
No, not at all.
Well, and the only reason I brought this up is because if you look on X or you look at Montgomery's own Facebook, it's become quite political.
Well,
and
people
racial.
want to turn it into what they want it to be.
Yeah, well, one was going to Memorial High School. The other one went to Sentinel High School. That's a very rich community.
Yeah, yeah.
Very, very, very wealthy community. It's like 51% white and 27% Asian and 8% or whatever black. The whole, that demographic of that area. And so I looked that up. I didn't know that offhand. but it's part of Dallas, so people didn't know where Frisco is in Texas. But
Thank you for looking up for us. Appreciate it.
You notice that too? I picked that up too, Biloxi Gambler. Just so you know, it wasn't just you. I picked that up too.
The way you snuck that in there cracked me up. You gave us all the details. You go, I looked that up.
I didn't know that off the top of my head.
Okay.
Wasn't wasted on you, buddy. I picked it up
Why?
as well.
Why?
All right. Talk to y'all later.
Later, brother.
I'm glad he can't knife me through the phone.
He'll get you tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll figure out some way. The problem is I embarrass myself all the time on my own. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Boomer T.
Hey, Boomer T. What's up, buddy?
I don't know about it's like this. Back in the day, man, we'd scrap out. And how about this? I went to Prattville. Our rival was Stanhope Elmore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We would go over there on Thursday nights and paint their daggone Mustang and hung out. We'd paint his testicles blue. They would come over to our place. We'd meet up at the McDonald's. We'd meet up at Steve's Disco. We'd meet up in the parking lot. Every weekend, I forgot where I live. And the Prattville Square parking lot, man. I mean, and we'd all scrap. We'd just bust your heads.
Yeah.
And then we'd sit right there and ha, and drink a cold beer on the back of a pickup truck and then play Friday night and beat the heck out of each other again.
Yeah.
And then come Saturday, I would see you downtown Prattville somewhere. We'd all just got along, but it was, I just don't understand this all stuff's gotten to be a thing now. I mean, all these young people, and look, I got something to say. I'm so sick and tired of hearing they must have a father in the home. Let me explain something to you, Captain. I was 8 years old. 8.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 younger brothers. My father went to Vietnam. He was gone 3.5 years of our lives. I was the man of the house. My father says, you are now the man. Take care of business. We didn't have my dad for 3.5 years of my life in Vietnam. Okay? And I don't mind that because my dad was saving lives. And that's great. So, don't give me, and we had kids in the neighborhood, their parents were not in the military, and I rode a bus with black kids, I rode the bus with Asian kids. It didn't bother none of us. But for me, for people keep sitting there, they got to have a father in the home. No, they don't. They got to stop their mothers from being their best friend. And they got to stop their mothers from going out there. Your mothers out there, you got to stop getting your head did and your nails all done up and running out there doing the fan dance and all that crazy stuff. You need to be spending more time with your children because there's a lot of black women in the city of Montgomery, in the state of Alabama, how about that are single women because they don't have a man because he run out on them and they got youngins and they work hard every single day of their lives. They don't beg for nothing. They don't want nothing. They don't need nobody but themselves because they can pull themselves up. Mm-hmm. And that's what's wrong right now. The women out there have gotten weak and worthless and depending on the government too much and paying too much attention about the partying than they are about the family. That's all I got to say about that, guys. May God bless each and every one of you. God bless America. See you when I see you.
See you when I see you.
I don't think that's a race phenomenon either. I think that cuts both directions.
Yeah, and there's also a difference between, not to argue with you too much, Boomer T, but your father leaving for 3.5 years and telling you literally you're now the man of the house. Your father's spirit is still there because he's given it. It's very different than you don't even know your dad. You barely know him. Very different. Yeah, the ideal would be you have 2 parents that actually give a damn and they look out for the kid. That would be the ideal.
The word I gave you earlier was accountability.
Yeah.
There's no accountability in the home.
And of course, life isn't often ideal. And there are many people, single parents, kids that don't know the father, don't think their mom doesn't give a damn about them, who overcome this. And I mean, there are plenty of people that get by and actually not just get by, but excel out of awful situations. And it's often those examples that I think are the way you get out of these so-called systemic problems.
Yeah.
It's counterintuitive to the therapeutic liberal mind. Well, let's just throw a few more programs on top of it and spend more on the schools and stuff, and it all, gun control, and it all work out. Maybe some of that, a better school could go a long way. Maybe some of the early intervention stuff could help. But at the end of the day, the only way you defeat truly endemic, systemic problems is one person at a time. Makes better choices and overcomes the bad hand they're dealt.
Either that or your choices that you've made are so bad, you finally realize there's no one going to rescue me.
Right.
Like Byron said, accountability. And I see it all the time. There's no accountability in the homes. Kids can almost do what they want to do. And when their parents react, it's usually that kind of quick emotional reaction. So that's what the kid learns. The kid doesn't learn how to sit down and figure out a problem or rationale. No, they learn that, hey, this led to this, so I'm going to continue. See it all the time.
I mean, you're a few years older than me. How many people did you see growing up? Like you were just like, that person right there doesn't need a child, because I know them. They are not responsible, fit to, watch a goldfish, much less have a baby.
Sadly, I see that every day.
And it's gotten worse.
See it every day. You see, drive around Montgomery. See how many kids you don't see sitting in a car seat. Just the basics. Put your kid in a damn car seat.
Just a baby?
Just
sitting in a normal seat?
You'll see a 3-year-old just standing in the passenger seat. I see it all the time. It's if you're not even willing to do the basics, it just drives me nuts.
So, vamos a hacer América grande otra vez.
America grande otra vez.
Does that say we should do better?
Let's make parents great again.
No, I love how Trump skipped the "let's make" part of the Spanish.
I wanted to call him El Trumpo.
He just said America great again.
El Chefe.
Goodness gracious. Let's hit a break here. But first, this part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. Great folks there at Cole Plumbing. And they're ready to help you out with any and all of your plumbing needs. Could be an everyday issue that isn't a big deal, but you need it fixed. You need it solved.
Got that drip that's just slowly dripping away. You hear it all night while you're sleeping. The drip. Yeah, that's so frustrating.
You go to take a shower and it's just a drip.
Yeah.
It's just
that ain't no good either.
This is a weak stream.
No good there, Joey.
Or you're seeing like a really bad clogged drain in the shower, maybe the kitchen.
Yeah, every time you flush the toilet, somebody says, what's this coming up in the shower? That ain't good.
That ain't good at all. It could be you want to upgrade to, say, a tankless water heater system. Maybe you want to install new accessories in the bathroom or the kitchen. Say it's time for a new garbage disposal.
Smart idea.
Or a taller toilet. They can help you with those sort of installs. And, of course, they can help you on the big jobs, like a gas line leak or a tree root invasion. Or if you're looking at a huge water leak inside or outside the home, they can get in there and solve that problem without having to create a big old mess, like tearing out a bunch of drywall or digging up a huge hole in your yard. They have this proprietary pipelining technology that allows them, with minimal discomfort to that home of yours, to actually fix the issue. So check them out today. You can always go to coleplumbing.com or just call them direct at 279-8919. Save that number if you ever have an issue. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth, and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Adams Drugs has been committed to the healthcare of the people of the River region for over 62 years. We value the trust each customer has in our pharmacists, techs, and entire staff. If you have not experienced the difference of Adams Drugs and are not satisfied with the customer service that you get in the big box stores, we invite you to visit any of our locations and see how committed we are to your satisfaction. Adams Drugs offers a variety of services that you will not find in all pharmacies in the River region. Personalized compounding, area-wide delivery, wellness screenings, immunizations, medication consultations, and specialized packaging, just to name a few. Visit us at our website, adamsdrugs.net, and find the location nearest you. Adams Drugs has 12 convenient locations to serve you. Your satisfaction is our number one goal. Adams Drugs is your local Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. It's time to get those gardens ready. From seeds to plants to fertilizer, MPM has what you need. Shop MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays, 8 to 1.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Today is cooler by about 11 degrees from yesterday. Still not bad. High temperature up to about 73. A little breezy by this afternoon. Clouds will eventually give way to sunshine. Clear skies, chilly tonight. Overnight low 45. Wednesday's a nice day, up to about 74 with sun. Warming to 82 by Thursday. Mid to upper 80s on Good Friday and Saturday. I think there'll be a lot of sunshine, too. Easter Sunday is still dry and storm-free, but mostly cloudy, high 86. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Your host, Joey Clark, Eddie Bader, center screen, Byron Sheehy. He's the other fellow in here. Yeah, I'm just trying to go for a chill thing on this last Saturday. But how about this might very well be a palate cleanser. It's a story I ran across that's out of Missouri.
Missouri?
Mm-hmm. And Eddie, I'm deadly serious about this.
Okay.
You need to pay attention to this story.
All right.
Seriously, given your choice of footwear, you need to pay attention.
Gotcha.
To this story. It happened on April 11th. A Missouri man who fled the scene after crashing his truck into a convenience store.
Okay.
Through the front windows, like crashed the truck.
Sound like he's on a beer run.
Yeah. Claimed his Crocs got caught in the pedal, causing him to accelerate into the business.
He didn't have them in four-wheel drive, for one. I can tell you that. And they probably weren't official Crocs. They were probably Walmart Crocs, which are a little bit fatter and can slow your movement down just a little bit.
Cops say security footage recorded Dale Hammett, 60, slamming his 2012 Dodge Ram into the convenience store on a Thursday evening in late February. Hammett immediately backed up and left the scene without providing any information.
What, he didn't leave a note or nothing? Just got the hell out of there?
The crash resulted in damages of $3,720. which is about half a mile. The convenience store is about half a mile from his residence. In the immediate aftermath of the crash, Hammett twice returned to the store, driving the same truck, and entered the business, where he spoke with an employee and never claimed to be the driver. Hammett even looked at the security video of the original incident with the worker. When a cop arrived on the scene, Hammett denied being the driver and his truck being the one involved. However, security video linked Hammett and his vehicle to the crash. When later questioned at his home, Hammett reportedly confessed and stated he was driving in his Crocs and they got caught in the pedal, causing him to accelerate into the building. Hammett added that he had freaked out and fled.
At which time? He came back twice. Did he freak out both times and flee again?
I almost I'm half checking myself. Is this actually a true story or is this a hysterical site?
The fact that he looked over the videotape with the clerk and then left again. Wasn't me. Good luck with that.
Nah, that wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
I'm going to call real old.
They couldn't have found tracked the radiator fluid that's probably busted and leaking all the way from one house to the store.
He's been charged with leaving the scene of an accident where property damage exceeded $1,000. It's a felony scheduled for a May 14th Circuit Court hearing. If convicted of the Class E felony, Hammett faces between 1 and 4 years in custody, as well as a maximum fine of $10,000. Court records do not include a further description of Hammett's footwear or whether the Crocs in question were outfitted with. You ever put charms on your Crocs?
I have.
Okay, you're going to mock me, but my wife has charms on my Crocs right now. I got a blue balloon dog thing and a star.
You have a blue what?
A balloon dog animal.
A balloon dog
and a
animal.
glittery star.
So it's like a little ceramic pin.
No, they made a foam too.
Oh, it made of foam. So, but it looks like a balloon dog animal.
I thought it was just. I didn't realize it was a dog.
And what's the other one?
A star, glittery star.
What color are these Crocs?
Camouflage.
Oh God. I'm saying you need to be careful because I know the way you drive anyway, like a bat out of hell.
Bad fall I had, that was from those Crocs.
I mean,
remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
I could actually see the scenario kind of playing out like you said it did. Kind of get stuck under there.
And he sent me a photo I did not want to see. He sent me a photo of his ass, and it was like bruised.
I had to show how that. It was awful.
I mean, it wasn't scandalous, really just the top, but it was like
the most purplish, reddish cabbage bruise I've ever seen.
And that was because of your Crocs.
Yeah, they hit that wet wood, and next thing you know, I was looking at my Crocs with a lake in the background.
They normally have pretty good grip.
Yeah, but when you wear them as long as I do, I mean, they're riding just on Maypops all the time with me.
Got to get them
riding on what?
Got to rotate
Maypops. When the tires are so slick on your car,
they're riding on Maypop
at any time.
Oh God,
Maypops.
Maypop.
You never heard of Maypops?
No, I grew up in the city. Eh? I love it. You're full of old timey sayings today. I walk in from the bathroom and he's like, "Yeah, it was the crow flies. It's about
the way the crow flies, a direct flight."
Mm-hmm.
I know what you meant.
I figured as much.
We have another story here. Yawning may be more dangerous than you think, experts say. Find yourself yawning a lot? Do you need the third or fourth cup of coffee to make it through the afternoon at work? Such signs of sleepiness may be a red flag of serious sleep deficit that could put you in physical danger and harm your long-term health. It's according to a new position paper by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine.
How much should we pay for that crap?
Yeah, I love how it's like when you see the report, it's like bridges across America are falling apart. Our infrastructure is terrible. This message brought to you by the Army Corps of Engineers. And it's like, maybe it's true. But you'll kind of have an incentive to sell us something.
We need more bridges.
But sleepiness is a serious health concern with wide-reaching consequences, said the American Academy of Sleep Medicine's president, Dr. Eric Olson, a pulmonologist and sleep medicine specialist at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. From drowsy driving crashes to workplace errors and long-term health risk, the effects of excessive daytime sleepiness impact individuals in society every day. Not getting a quality night's rest of at least 7 to 8 hours has been linked to the development of worsening of diabetes, depression, heart and kidney disease, high blood pressure, obesity, and stroke.
Pretty much everything.
In all seriousness, I was sleeping like crap, especially like last year.
Yeah.
And even worse the year before that. Like I've gotten better in the last few years. But I started to notice a lot of these things they're talking about. Like high blood pressure, like the pre-diabetes signs. And I'm like, well, it's not just the lack of sleep. It's also like how much I was eating.
Also, shift work.
Yeah. And it messes up your clock, your internal clock.
Dude, that's why I don't sleep now.
Still?
Oh, yeah.
All these years later?
Yeah.
Damn. No, when I did the graveyard shift at the donut shop at Auburn, it's the dumbest thing I ever did.
Why?
Series. That was fun.
Yeah.
Made a lot of money. But then I would pack in all my classes on like 2-3 days a week. So I'd have a full day of classes. And then I would go and do the graveyard shift after that full day of classes and have a day off.
But did you die?
No, I didn't die.
All I'm hearing is great time.
I know. Where's the downside?
Oh, there's a whole story there.
We got time.
You're slipping and sliding.
Man, I don't know if I can tell
the
that
glaze.
story. It became dangerous. Sleep deficit, let's say for somebody you're living with who has a psychological condition, like a serious psychological condition, they're not sleeping, so they're trying hardcore to get sleep. And your other roommate is having all these folks over in the middle of the day, selling them stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't realize how much he was selling and how hardcore some of the stuff he was selling.
Sunshine.
Yeah. And so it's like pretty crazy folks coming over the house. Even if we don't have somebody with a psychological condition who isn't getting sleep, it's still like, who the hell are you inviting over to our house? Who did we invite to live with us? And so like, I'm realizing very quickly this, you know, how you just have a feeling, or, you know, when you get real
intuition, baby,
like heat stroke, you start getting that like narrow vision and stuff. It's almost like I was feeling my vision narrow. It's seeing like this is about to culminate in some violent clash. So we had to kick out the one roommate, and I'm like, my grades that semester were
sleep deprivation. Being a shift worker, all of us suffered from that. But some of the craziest, especially now looking back, a lot of times people would get off work, they'd sleep in the parking lot right there, take an hour or so nap. And I remember one guy in particular, I was like, why do you do this? He said, I hope it never happens to you, Eddie, but I was driving home one day, and when I woke up, there was an 18-wheeler about 50 yards ahead of me with the horns blaring, and I got it out of the way. And he said, from that point on, I'll take a nap here, or I'll pull over and get me 15 minutes of sleep, as silly as it sounds. And he was right. I've had more than one time right there on 231, 5 miles from my house, a state trooper knocked on my window. You all right? Yep. I just had to get a couple minutes. You know, I get it. And that's why
it's crazy.
When we talk about that overtime, I'm so passionate about that. Those kind of hours, you sleep at work, folks. You sleep in the parking lot before when you get there and before you go home.
Well, and speaking of that, Speaker Ledbetter said the whole keeping that big tax cut seems to be dead.
I heard that.
Sucks. I think y'all could easily afford it.
Yeah, they could.
Easily.
How many times? Well, never mind.
Easily afford it.
Yeah, they could.
But
throw the bums out.
They're going to let it sunset in June.
I can't believe they call themselves Republicans. That's another thing I don't get over in this state. I guess it's a different rule for what we call Republicans that, like our president, compared to Republicans that we have in this state, because there's a huge difference
Well, we
between
just saw, like, around the country, people can call themselves whatever they want to.
This is
You know, it's up to us to point out, like, no, you're not.
This is true.
And they got all sorts of reasons, like we need to pay for this, we need to pay for that, we need to pay for this.
You call it BS when it's BS.
Yeah, and it'd be one thing if, like, we're trying to propose a tax cut.
No.
Like, currently the tax is on overtime workers and we want to cut it. That'd be one thing. But no, the current status quo is for 17 months, you've had tax-free overtime work. So the government doesn't take that big cut. This means hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars for certain folks working overtime.
Well, not only
it's
that,
a big deal.
Your production, you just killed a lot of production. A big reason people don't work overtime that don't have to is because, hey, they know it's kind of a tax ripoff. It's not kind of worth my time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're just killing more production.
It's a shame. It's absolutely a shame that is going on in the state. Now, right next door, as we bring that up, Mississippi Musk.
Yeah.
Finds $400 million in state government waste.
Bring the Doge here, Joey.
Only 400 day one, right?
Right. I was going to say day one. Exactly right.
But this is like what the overtime tax, like they have a fiscal note. The revenue department comes up with a fiscal note. I've seen 230, I've seen 300, but let's call it like just highball. Let's call it 300.
Okay.
Mississippi just found 400 million, just starting to look. They call it Moj. Mississippi Doge. And Mississippi State Auditor Shad White announced Monday that his office has uncovered approximately $400 million in government waste during his time in office, as detailed in a forthcoming 800-page report to be released later in the day.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
White, who has held the office since 2018, said the compilation highlighted examples of inefficiency, fraud, and misuse of taxpayer funds across various agencies in the state. The auditor's office cannot directly eliminate wasteful spending. It has the authority to alert lawmakers to the findings. I don't even think our auditor.
I don't think ours can. Remember how they cracked down so much on it?
If Andrew Sorrell had this authority,
I would love
he'd be
for him to have the
top.
power.
Yeah, but you better believe that legislature ain't going to give him.
Nah, man. Like you can tell, like our auditor's office, like somebody pissed off somebody years ago. They're like, we're cutting.
We could watch it with Ziegler every time he spoke up. Oh, they took my parking space.
Well, you remember when Ziegler
would? It was before that, though.
Oh yeah, it was long before Ziegler.
Long before that.
Yeah, a long time ago, decades ago.
Yeah.
One auditor got way too big for his britches. They're like, no,
started
snipping
showing what the people wanted to see.
But they did keep cutting Ziegler. Do you remember when Ziegler still auditor and they're cutting his budget at the auditor's office? And he would introduce himself and he would give you the business card that was like
business cards were one by like half. I mean, they were
He
but it still had all the everything on there.
Joey, they keep cutting my budget so much, I only can afford these.
I may still have one of those somewhere.
I hope so. I thought that was hysterical. He was quite the character.
And he's writing for 1819 News now.
Oh, good deal.
I like that guy.
I saw him about a week and a half ago.
Yeah,
he was popping up everywhere, man.
But referencing the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, launched by Musk under the Trump administration, this auditor White there in Mississippi said, in the last few weeks, we've jokingly started calling ourselves Moj, the Mississippi Office of Government Efficiency, where we approach our work with the same attention to every penny as Doge, and I'm happy to be Mississippi's Musk. A key finding in the report centers around Medicaid payments, where tens of millions of dollars in subsidies were issued to individuals who did not meet income eligibility requirements.
Let it rip, baby.
White also flagged excessive spending on equipment by state agencies, citing instances where one department purchased televisions for nearly $6,000 each. Holy crap. Far above what similar technology costs the federal government. Like, there are $6,000 TVs.
Yeah,
but
there are.
Probably not the ones he bought.
Nope.
So if you think the federal government is inefficient, I promise you, your state governments around the country are likely even less efficient.
I would say worse.
The report also scrutinizes DEI initiatives in Mississippi's colleges and universities. According to White, around $11 million in taxpayer funds went towards DEI programs, including staff time for microaggression training sessions and grants for social justice yoga for preschool-age children.
What's a microaggression?
I can give you an example of one.
Yeah.
Hit you really soft.
That's a microaggression?
No, I don't know.
You need to bring a real aggression.
Right.
No, I don't know. Because I commit them all the time, and it's my privilege. I have a
privilege.
difficulty.
Microaggression is a privilege.
Well, it can be a product of one's privilege.
Oh.
Like you're so in your own little privilege silo that you don't know how that little thing. Oh, here I'm trying to think of examples as I'm running through this stupid crap in my head. Like, oh, your hair's so beautiful. Can I touch your hair? It says the white girl to the black girl.
Or when I ask if I can explain something to my lady friend.
Yeah. Oh, mansplaining?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a microaggression. Right. And then now I'm thinking back to the Norm Macdonald clip where he's talking to some British comedian and he's like, you know what a cis male is? A cis male is somebody born a male who identifies as a male. So they're a cis male. And the guy's like, I still don't understand. Why are we even doing that? Oh, it's just a way to marginalize the normal person.
Yeah, exactly what it is.
But what is social justice yoga for preschool age children? What the hell is that?
a bunch of
A
kids,
scam. That's what that is.
a bunch
I know
of
it
kids
is.
who are so downtrodden that they don't have yoga classes available to them, man. So we got to bring them to them.
Yeah, but I don't even understand what social justice yoga is. Like, is it like goat yoga or beer yoga or
I can't
hot
get behind
yoga?
the goat yoga. I thought that was pretty cool, but
Little baby goats.
Yeah, I
walk
thought that
on
was
you.
pretty cool.
Actually, that's kind of annoying when I'm in the middle of like a pose, like I'm planking.
well,
I don't want
like
a
the
goat to
idea of
hop on
just
top.
goats thinking as silly as I do about yoga, and they poop on you while they're standing on you, Joey. They think the same thing about yoga as normal people.
Depends
It's unnecessary.
it depends on how hot the instructor is.
When that back of yours locks up, especially after your lack of sleep, because all those years your rhythms being blown up because of that overtime work, you'll be going, man, I should have listened to Joey on that yoga
Let me
stuff.
tell you how us rednecks do that. We get the old lady to walk on our backs. That's what fixes that, buddy.
That does feel good.
Thank you very good.
It depends on your old lady.
Yeah, that's facts.
Sometimes you got to get the old lady friend to walk on your back.
Hey, just use one of your legs.
Yeah.
Don't use both.
Yeah, don't put all your weight on
That's
it.
right. Just one foot. One foot.
Hold the table.
I've been looking to step on you for years. Now call me mommy. Like, whoa, I didn't know you had this side to you.
Good point.
20 years of marriage and you're bringing it over.
Yeah.
But this is great. Like seeing this going on in Mississippi, that's great. And you'll see if the legislature actually acts on it there. But like that's fantastic. And Alabama's still trying to push ACEs as our Doge. What have you cut? You've been around since 2019. What have you cut?
That's another scam, is all it is. That's all it is. Dude, this is the same state who everybody in the state, well, I won't say everybody, the mass majority knows the vaccine was a scam, but the state health agency still puts the vaccine mandates out, still runs the commercial. That's a scam right there.
Still running ads.
Right. What are we doing? Brother-in-law need a job that bad?
Uh-huh.
Anyway, we got to hit another break. First, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services and their Pest Pro. Ashley and that amazing team are ready to help you with any and all of your pest control needs. You've used Pest Pro on many of your properties.
I use them very frequently, Joey. Some of the best people I know. One of the big reasons I like to use them, like if my day is coming up, say my day was Friday, they usually call me up Thursday, let me know, hey, they're heading out. That way, if I've got guests or anything, I can kind of let the guests know ahead of time. But they also call me up afterwards and say, hey, Eddie, most of the time they say everything was fine. But if they do see anything out of place, they tell me.
Well, and this is like your basic spraying inside the home and outside.
And the skeeters.
And yes, you can add on mosquito protection.
Yes.
That's not like they stop by once. They stop,
No.
I think, like 8 times a year
Yep.
at the peak mosquito season.
Yep, and we are cranking that up pretty good right now.
Last night got ate up. You need to get
Oh,
a spray
really?
before
There you go.
Easter and all the
Yeah,
people
dude.
come,
It works,
come
man.
over this weekend.
It really works. And I'll be honest, when I talked to Ashley about it first time, she's like, Eddie, I promise you, if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back if you don't think it works. I'm like, I'm up here in the woods. I'm up here in mosquito heaven. It works.
Even with your sweet meat?
Even with mine.
Do it before Easter.
Yep.
Y'all check out Pest Pro Services today. You can always learn more at ppsriverregion.com or search for them on the Book of Faces, just Pest Pro Services on Facebook. Or just call them direct, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey, Eddie, and Byron, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdis. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
It's tax season. By now, we're all a bit tired of numbers, but here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number, $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed. Save up to 40% in your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit lifelock.com. That's lifelock.com, promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Did you see that that whole lady like little trip up to like the lady astronaut celebrity? Katy Perry and Gayle King and all that stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, would you go on something like that?
I would in a minute, but
yeah, I'd do it.
I call it what it is, a roller coaster ride.
Would you do that too?
With Katy Perry?
Yes. Well, not even with like us three went up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do it.
But I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah,
though,
I mean,
it's
it's
really
pretty,
go that deep into space.
You're right. It's not the same. This is where I look at these, what Blue Origin's doing, going, that's not the same thing as a lot of these SpaceX missions, for instance. And like even the recent one, the From 2, which had all civilians, they did something like 30-something research projects over 5 days. Like the first X-rays in space.
Cool and all,
like
but
there was a purpose to it, and you're up there 5 days, and you take all these great photos of the poles that had never been.
Had it not been all women, would we have given a rat's behind?
Oh, the last time I remember them doing this was William Shatner, right?
Oh, that's right. I forgot he did it.
Yeah.
But that was cool. That's Shatner.
Yeah, that's cool. No, and the videos that came out of when they're in microgravity for a little while and they're floating around, their hair is all over the freaking place. They're like, oh my God. No, and you remember the big stink about the one astronaut who had she was so excited the internet started making fun of her for essentially giving her O-face to the whole world.
She was excited.
I know.
I might have chimed in on that.
Yeah, I remember that one. But there are a lot of folks who are unhappy. I'm looking at, I saw a headline on X and it says, Emily Ratajkowski trashes all-female space trip. And I'm like, who the hell is Emily Ratajkowski?
I know who she is.
Really?
She is the talent from Blurred Lines video.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I looked her up. She's good looking. She's an American model and actress. And I'm like, this is just one actress throwing shade at another actress. She's like, think of all the wasted materials that could have gone to the rest of the planet. I'm like, look at all the wasted materials on your face, woman.
Thank you.
There are plenty of good-looking ladies all over this country of ours, especially here in Alabama, that aren't wearing that thick of makeup.
Believe it or not, Joey, not all women will congratulate other women.
Really? Women attack women?
Yes, they do.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, you know.
I mean, these queens got to stick together.
I thought the funny part was Bezos walking and then just face plants it. I thought that was hysterical. Why can't we get a zoomed in on that? Because that, to me, was the funniest.
He did fall right on his freaking face.
Planted,
yeah, it was pretty funny.
I got you, baby. I got you.
Yeah. But how are you ever going to satisfy your brand new wife ever again after that 10-minute ride?
Oof.
Give her a 20 minute.
Give her half your stuff. About the only way it's going to work.
Eventually.
Yep.
And then Gayle King's reacting. All these folks are saying just because we're women that it was just a little ride up there. I'm like,
no, it was cool, but it's just
cool. But that's what it was.
But
it was a little
ride.
ride.
It's what it was.
Right.
No different than you went on the vomit
claim
comment.
like all their training they had to do.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
what kind of training could Gayle King? Come on. What kind of training? Really? Come on. Here, sit here.
No, you're making good points. Anyway, we have to hit this break. Top of the hour break.
Right.
First, this entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you, whether you're looking to purchase a home.
Mm-hmm.
Could be you've done it before, but you want to go with actual like folks that are going to get you the best possible deal. You had a nightmare when you did like that fly-by-night internet company.
Oh, yeah.
Or you went with some big bank and you, after the fact, realized, wait, I could have gotten a much better deal here.
Yep.
Why not
people
go
actually care about you
with local trusted folks that, yes, actually care about you and your goals, whether, again, you're looking to buy that home or you're looking to refinance that home, maybe get debt off your back, in particular credit card debt. It could be you're looking to just get down monthly overhead costs. You want to reinvest in your property. Maybe you got a kid, just graduated from college. They're going to go pick up a job, some city, and you're like, you know what? I want to help out the kid.
That's a good idea.
I want to set them up. Like, whatever your goals. I mean, maybe you want to do the big vacation road trip. You're like, what the heck?
Idea.
We've been saving up for years. We've always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Let's actually enjoy ourselves. Especially you just retired, say you're in your 60s, you were able to retire. Why not?
Definitely great idea.
So y'all check out Alabama Home Mortgage today. You can always call them direct at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The National Republican Congressional Committee says it's raised $36.7 million in the first quarter of 2025, making it the strongest first quarter of an off-election year in its history. A new study finds fewer people cross state lines for abortions in 2024 than the previous year. One reason for this, likely the increase of availability of abortion pills. The Guttmacher Institute has found that the number of abortions in states where they're legal increased by less than 1% last year. The Trump administration pulling nearly $64 million in support for a Dallas to Houston bullet train project. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy calling the project a waste of taxpayer funds. On Wall Street, the Dow dropping 132 points. The NASDAQ composite is down 55. This is SRN News.
You want to give your dogs the very best. You take them on walks and pick the best food. No matter what they're eating, you should add Dr. Phytos to every bite. Just sit back and watch them lick their bowl clean, knowing they are getting 40 carefully selected ingredients made from whole foods, spices, and fibers, from bananas to sweet potatoes. Go to drphytos.com today and subscribe to save $20 each month. Vet developed, dog trusted. This is the human-grade dog food topper that gives you peace of mind. Don't just take our word for it.
I have used it on 2 dogs, Kipper and Kodak, but I just started giving Kipper tons of the Dr. Phytos product. He actually started eating all of his food. Like, I actually had to give him more. The product has been very successful for both dogs.
Every dog deserves a topper worth barking about. Go to drphytos.com. That's DRPHYTOS.com.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Today is cooler by about 11 degrees from yesterday. Still not bad. High temperature up to about 73. A little breezy by this afternoon. Clouds will eventually give way to sunshine. Clear skies, chilly tonight. Overnight low 45. Wednesday's a nice day, up to about 74 with sun. Warming to 82 by Thursday. Mid to upper 80s on Good Friday and Saturday. I think there'll be a lot of sunshine, too. Easter Sunday is still dry and storm-free, but mostly cloudy, high 86. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
You can make your ASC loan payments from your phone anytime, anywhere. It's quick and easy. www.yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
ASC Credit Union. Your life, your cause, your ASC.
1819 News.
9 states have decided to enter into an agreement with Alabama regarding its state-created voter name database. AVID stands for Alabama's Voter Integrity Database and was first put into place when Wes Allen began as Secretary of State. Ohio is the latest state to sign on to a memorandum of understanding. Secretary of State Wes Allen says this agreement will result in cleaner and more accurate voter files for both states. Other states that have joined Alabama in this effort for clean voter rolls are Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Texas. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness license plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org.
A man suspected of being a drug dealer in Florida was arrested here in Alabama this past weekend. 24-year-old Ruben Diaz was found in possession of cocaine in Morgan County. Diaz was in his vehicle that was pulled over in Hartselle. A detainer for the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency has also been issued against Diaz in order to verify his immigration status. A Hartselle man is behind bars after an investigation was conducted by the Morgan County Drug Enforcement Unit regarding the distribution of fentanyl. An undercover agent was able to purchase that fentanyl at a home on Simmons Road. 33-year-old Mark Mayfield is now facing multiple drug-related charges. And a Henniger woman has been identified as the one fatality in a motorcycle wreck that occurred in Cherokee County. 21-year-old Christina Powell was driving that motorcycle when it left the roadway and hit several trees. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
We all want access to care and coverage we need to stay healthy, but Farm Bureau health plans aren't the answer. They are unregulated and unreliable when it comes to covering you and your family. If you have cancer or another pre-existing condition, well, you'd be out of luck. Alabama deserves better than empty promises. Call your state legislator now and tell them to vote no on Farm Bureau health plans. Visit fightcancer.org/Alabama. It's time for real health insurance.
Paid for by the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. You're thinking of selling your home. Here are several ways to improve the look of your home and possibly the value. Number one, improve the curb appeal with trim bushes and cut the grass. Repaint the exterior where needed, and if needed, paint your front door. Number two, declutter the inside of the home by removing items that are not needed off countertops, dressers, and the den. Three, paint walls and trim where needed with a fresh coat of paint in a light color that will show off your home. Four, clean your oven and microwave inside and out, make it shine. Number five, professionally clean carpets or shine the wood floors with a polish or Bono. Six, clean out all closets or unwanted clothes, shoes, belts, hats, and donate them to a local charity. Finish any leftover repairs now, doorknobs, light bulbs, and closet doors. For a complete list and an in-person evaluation and consultation, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Welcome back. Oh, we got some news stories on the top of the page at 1819news.com. The one I'm looking at, written up by the man himself, Craig Munger.
Craig!
You know he doesn't like it when you say it that way.
I know. That's why I say it that way. Hence, Craig!
You're referencing the movie Friday.
Yes.
Classic
Great
film.
movie.
Craig and them.
Craig!
How you get fired on a day off, Craig?
Which one do you like the best? First one?
First one, yeah, but the Christmas one was pretty good. And I think they got one more, Final Friday. I think Ice Cube was talking about making.
Yeah. No, who's the guy? John Witherspoon, maybe? Who's the dad?
Man.
He steals the damn show.
Love
Guy's so freaking funny. Is it the first one where he's got to get home to take a...
Put some hot sauce on my burrito, baby.
The second one actually does focus more on him.
Because he's such a breakout star, yeah.
Anyway, Craig Munger The headline reads, Georgia, most recent southern state to cut taxes, while critics continue to push for extending Alabama's overtime tax cut. Craigmonger writes, Georgia recently joined the growing number of southern states, either cutting back or eliminating the state income tax, while Alabama leaders face continued criticism for letting its overtime tax cut expire. Why are we putting workers last? When we're all about like putting American workers first, why are we putting Alabama overtime workers last?
You tell me, Joey.
Georgia Governor Brian Kemp on Tuesday signed a bill authorizing $1 billion in one-time special tax refunds up to $500 per household. This is the largest tax cut in Georgia's state history, and it comes as the state faces a $16 billion surplus. Georgia's move comes amid a wave of tax cuts in southern states. Tennessee, which does not have a personal income tax, is now putting pressure on Congress to eliminate it, and a host of others at the federal level, boasting of its success without one. In fact, Trump was asked about this. By the same woman who was teaching him how to say "Make America Great Again" in Spanish. Here's the question about it.
Feel very secure and safe. He's also built one, but
no, that's on El Salvador. How Trump wants to he wants to send American criminals, American citizens who have been convicted of a crime to El Salvador. Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know about all that.
That seems like a violation of the Eighth Amendment. And as Judge Knapp pointed out, it's like, these folks, even if they're put on death row, can appeal. And there's
I mean, but there are times where there are criminals where I go, I would love to do that. But I do realize that they
Las
have rights.
aranceles van a reemplazar el income tax.
you're the only one that's asked me that. Oh, I deal with all these big financial geniuses. Nobody ever. There is a chance that the money from tariffs could be so great that it would replace. In the old days, about 1870 to 1913, the tariffs were the only form of money. And that's when our nation was relatively the richest. We were the richest.
So Trump's idea is, ultimately we might be bringing in enough money from the tariffs so we don't need an income tax.
Have you heard about the other states like Tennessee and Mississippi, what they're doing to replace that money, or they just said, you know what, we can do without? I think that's a big fear in Alabama. They've been on the grift so long, they can't imagine having to do without. So they don't like to do anything unless we got a replacement with a raise.
But it's not just Georgia. It's not just Tennessee. Both Kentucky and Mississippi lawmakers have passed legislation that would decrease the state's income tax over several years. 8 states currently charge no personal income tax. That's Alaska, Florida.
And
they're right to the south of us, right?
Yeah, Florida. We're like our own little island of jerks here.
New Hampshire, Nevada, South Dakota, Tennessee, which is right to the north of it.
Tennessee.
Yeah, and Mississippi will phase out. There'll be a zero income tax state, and Georgia's doing this massive cut.
So the gambling guys in this, or the proponents of gambling, they all say Alabama's missing out because all these other states have gambling, and all of our neighboring states have better tax rates for employees, and they don't think that we're going to be missing out somehow.
Yeah, but all of them are going to hell. We're not.
And of course,
or out of state to a different location.
Right.
Texas and Wyoming also have no personal income tax. Now, when I look at Texas and I look at Florida, it's, Texas got all that oil, which helps.
Also, they have more tigers than anywhere else in the world.
And then Florida taxes transients. I mean, I imagine the amount of money Florida gets from tourism,
man. Hotel
ridiculous.
tax. Yeah. Just the hotel tax alone, man. Plus, you got all that freight coming in, Miami, all that.
Which, honestly, Alabama maybe could up its game. Like, our beaches are, they look just as good as the ones on the Panhandle.
100%, dude. 100%. But you're
Though
trusting
18 miles of real estate, you don't really have the volume.
Right, and all those communities down there, like we reported last week, Gulf Shores is a little over, like the big music fests, and they don't really like
over
it.
the
After they build
audience,
the
they still want the money. They just want a quieter patron.
In fact, I think Panama City even made the statement that we are not a spring break town anymore.
Oh yeah. Fun while it lasted in the 90s and the early aughts.
It really wasn't that much fun.
I never went.
I did.
How was it? Not that much fun?
I grew up an hour away from there.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
I went down there every night.
Yeah, how was it?
Not that much fun.
Oh, okay.
But you went every night.
It wasn't that much fun.
But you went every night.
It wasn't that much fun.
Okay.
There wasn't anything else to do in Geneva.
I went a couple of times and it was fun.
How?
I don't remember. That kind of fun.
Okay. Anyway, Craig Monger continues here. With the recent boom in states cutting their income taxes, Eyes in the state here in Alabama are focused squarely on the Alabama legislature's recent actions with the state's tax on overtime wages, as I wrote about last week. Lawmakers passed a law in 2023 ending the state's taxing of money earned via overtime pay. The bill, also sponsored by Anthony Daniels, the House Minority Leader, passed the legislature but contained a sunset provision, meaning it would require a legislative continuation or expire. The initial sunset provision expired the tax cut in 2027 and capped the total exemption amount at $25 million. However, Governor Kay issued an executive amendment removing the cap but changing the sunset to 2025. The total fiscal impact on the state's education trust fund was initially reported to be $34 million. However, while the exact impact is not available, a report by the Alabama Department of Revenue said the effect could be as much as $230 million. While House Minority Leader Anthony Daniels, the sponsor of the 2023 tax cut, and others have pushed for a continuation of the tax cut, House leadership instead prioritized a package by State Representative Danny Garrett from Trussville, which passed the House last month. While some House GOP members were over the moon for Garrett's tax cut package, others have pointed to the inherent distinction between Alabama and other states. While others are cutting taxes on state workers, Alabama allowing the overtime tax cut to expire would be a de facto increase in taxation for a large portion of the state's workforce. Some Republicans have also complained that the exemption is costing the state's budget more than initial estimates. Daniels has argued that the overtime tax exemption actually increases revenue from higher economic activity, otherwise known as dynamic scoring. According to the HR Digest, Alabama's quote-unquote pioneering move in slashing overtime has already shown a 5% increase in overtime volunteered, according to the outlet. Despite the bipartisan support in the state, combined with the general appetite for tax cuts among Republican governments, the prospect of Alabama extending its cut was killed in its crib by House leadership, with House Speaker Nathaniel Ledbetter spinning concern over the hit the cut would have on the state's budget.
So you're telling me the people want it. A lot of the folks in that session there want it, but leadership says, be damned with what y'all want. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. Y'all going to eat this crap sandwich whether you like it or not.
How many?
Sounds like we need to vote the bums out.
What all got inflated? Anything get a bump other than some administrative
I think
salaries?
the fiscal note on, say, the parental leave stuff they gave, I think to education was like $150 million.
So it's education?
Yeah, well, I would need to look that up. Is it all state workers, maybe?
What is Danny Garrett chair of?
I think Garrett's the general fund.
General?
And Arthur Orr is ETF in the Senate. No, and Garrett's package gives it, you know how the grocery tax was going to be the 2% cut, but it was each percentage cut was indexed to 3.5% growth.
Crap, but yeah.
Right. Well, they're going to just go ahead and give that extra percentage cut in the grocery tax, and they've also expanded the standard deduction. And
thank you, boss. Thank you, boss. Could I have another? I'm so sick of them, man. Didn't you say one of those guys used to be a lineman? So he used to work
Speaker
overtime.
of the House.
He used to work overtime, but now that he can't get it no more, nobody can. He made his money. He's done with it. Now y'all make money for him. This is why you got to vote bums out.
Yeah. It sucks.
I
think we can afford it.
Man, that's their way of keeping thumb on you. You'll never get as high as I'll get, Joey. I'll never allow you to prosper, but this far, because my thumb is going to hold you down. Vote the bums out. That's what they are. Leeches.
No, and it is a bit much when these workers have had say no tax on overtime for over a year and a half, about a year and a half now, 17 months. They're going to take it away.
Yeah, because they're pieces of crap. That's why.
According to this, Vice Chair, Ways and Means on Education.
Danny Garrett.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. And to me, what makes this worse is we were first. That whole, pioneering move and whatnot. And it's just
it goes back to
not Vice Chair, Chair.
It goes back to what they typically do here. They did it in Montgomery for a while. Remember, we had an entertainment district downtown. You could walk around with a little bit of beer, a little bit of drinks. They got some businesses go downtown. They said, hey, We're not going to do that no more. Guess what? Those places closed up.
Yeah, I remember.
It's a bait and switch.
Wasn't there like a daiquiri place down there?
Yeah, it's a bait and switch. What do they do with the CBD store? Hey, you got a good business, Joey. Man, you guys did a ton of research on getting this business going. We're so proud of you for doing that. We're fixing to come in there and steal it from you. And ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
We have a young lady who operates one of those CBD places, I believe, in the southern part of the state, Jennifer Boozer.
Boozer, huh?
Ironic last name, given she sells CBD and hemp products. She's going to be joining us at noon on Thursday.
Excellent.
Joining the crew here. So we'll be talking about the effects of all these bills and get it from her point of view.
You want to guess the education budget?
What's 12 billion?
9.9.
We're putting out more dumbasses than any other state. That's what we're doing with that money.
No, I think the total for this, the ones they're about to put into law, is going to be 14 in total.
Well, this was the first blush. This is from April the 1st. So,
Okay.
yeah, they probably kicked it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Wonder where they found that money.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Y'all trying to get me in a bad mood, bringing up the state of Alabama.
I'm
What
sorry,
is-
Duke. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you in a bad mood.
Just reminded you of the thiefism, Duke.
Would you want to put? You can put me in a bad mood and we'll call it
I'm talking
even.
about what I want to do. What they doing?
You can put me in a bad mood if you want to piss me off. We can call it even.
I might get there in a few minutes, though.
Sit down, relax, son.
But man, yes, sir. State of Alabama law. Why y'all bring it up, man? I was doing okay for a few minutes.
I know,
had
Jeff.
a better choice.
I'm the same way, man. But it needs to be
I'll
talked
talk about. In a
about.
few minutes, but the state of Alabama now, like you said, Joey, state of Alabama came up with the idea of no tax overtime.
And then bragged
For
about it.
employees.
How futuristic we are. Then they
came
brag.
up with it. Then the president get hold to it. I mean, everything Trump's supposed to be for. I mean, Governor Iver be all in
No,
other time for what Trump is for. You know, Tovia, has he talked about it in? Them
No,
and Katie Brick, they always echo and stuff about, oh, president was right. Hell, why y'all ain't saying nobody he's right about this one? Huh?
Well, the senators are the U.S. senators are usually not ones that jump into state legislative
They
politics.
talk about everything.
There's a
else.
few
They
times
talk
I've
about
wanted
the
them to,
damn
and this would be
PEI
one of
bid.
them.
Oh no, but they talk about all the federal level stuff,
Yeah.
Duke. It's kind of a courtesy thing where usually the federal delegation doesn't talk about what the state government's doing.
But there's a few things I can point out the state of Alabama got done in the last couple of years. They got in there with the DEI stuff and tighten it up on the voting rights and all this mess and, you know, this stuff that don't affect the average person. Hell, these people want a damn tax on the overtime thing, folks. Y'all are not helping them. I mean, but let me leave that alone here. We didn't talk about this till we blew in the face. Then we did talk about it some more, though, I guess, on a wider scale. If everybody get involved, but no, damn it, everybody else gambling. We can't gamble. Me and Red Top may need a little marijuana for our back pain every once in a while. So he coming up and down our ladder every day. You may need a little marijuana for that. Hey, we can't get done. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are folks we elected.
Then, but those Republicans, y'all leave it up to the Republicans, and that's reading shit. I almost cuss y'all. I'm sorry. But back to the kids now, y'all.
Yeah.
Back to the kids. Y'all was talking about it earlier. They don't have anything to do with race. You know, because
I agree.
I've had many instances where the incident with these kids. I told y'all about the story. I used to chase these kids all over town, but nowadays I can't do that because 10 years later, right now, you know, a little boy at the bus stop a couple years ago, I tried to get him to move out of the road. Him and his boys. They looked at me. He was 14 at the time. Oh hell, he wanted to whip me. He told me to get out the car. He was fine. Yeah. I want you so bad. Boy, oh man, oh Lord, I want to break him down, but you know.
Man, you're bringing back a memory.
Yeah. So that's what we got. And right before I moved back in 2020, there's a kid walking down the sidewalk. I had been having trouble with these kids, but he got a little older. He got him a gun.
Oh yeah.
As he was going down the sidewalk, he looked over at me and shot his little gun on the grass. So I went back in the house and got my gun and his boys down the road. I had my gun on the seat. I asked them, what's up? What you want to do, young man? Oh, hell, they ran. They ran all behind people's houses, hiding and going on. But I called the police department and even talked to one of the young guy's daddy. They came through later on in the four-wheeler looking over at me, trying to eyeball me, trying to, check me out. I went in the house and got my rifle and just put it across my back. And all of that when it came his ass back through. But that's where we are nowadays. These kids at the traffic light, you say something to them or look at them crazy, they want to shoot you. One lady got killed here in Montgomery in the parking lot a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody ran in front of her and got in her spot, and she said, I had that spot. Hell, they killed the lady. Y'all remember that one?
And think of that party that got shot up not that long ago.
Right.
Or, of course, Amy Dix sitting there just at the stoplight on Atlanta Highway. Or all the... And then there's so many that we don't... there are not as high profile that it's just over and over again. And it's usually young kids killing other young kids.
But I want to say that to say this, though. But with the news media and the social media we got nowadays, everybody can see everything. So when you got a black and a white that end up in an incident like that, quite obvious people going to look at the race, color. It's not fair, but that's the way it is. America is, okay? So there we are with that one. Huh?
I don't disagree there. That's the way it is.
People going to see race. They're going to see color.
Well, people's going to see whatever the media presents.
But
well,
I don't.
People see what they want to see.
Yeah, but
and hear what they want to
I
hear.
see color. I see color all day long, but the color is not the color of hate.
It's just human nature, but what I'm saying,
It's just
some
a different.
people
It's a
gonna stir it up
difference. Right.
further than what it needs to go, where it needs to go. Like the guy that they trying to compare that case with that boy that they took to McDonald's, the white guy. So stuff like that, people look at different cases, but it's not fair the way the system is in many cases. Trump pardoned all them folks that did the stuff at the Capitol. People look at all kinds of stuff nowadays, okay? So, you take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and add it to a little bit of this, and that'll be on it. But at the end of the day, we got problems. We got a generation of kids. We done lost a generation of boys. Then let's go on to the white kids a little bit. We got families that crying about their babies on their pills and all these drugs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got families dealing with kids because of what color. They deal with kids' problems.
The deaths of despair are very real with the substance abuse, and then the murder rates, the homicide rates are awful. And you're right, there is a racial breakdown.
Yeah. And the thing about it, the black kids are doing most of the killing, and the white kids doing most of the heavy drugs and going to these rehab places like children's hospitals and stuff like that. Me and my wife got friends that kids that dealt with that kind of stuff. We not talk about it. I use an example all the time. I talk about different things. So people talking about, do want to bring this? No, I'm just talking about facts.
Yes.
Okay. But,
it's almost like there are different communities with different cultures, and they have different, if you could use the word pathologies, different problems.
Yes, man. And so I got one of my brother's high school classmates. She broke down and killed herself, man. Jumped off a bridge back in the day, because they get strung out on that stuff, man, and to deal with whatever they're dealing with. Some of them call it bipolar, some of them call it plain old crazy, like it used to be. I don't know.
No, it's tragic, and this thing out of Texas.
It's not just about race.
No, it's not. And I thought
because this guy saying something to him and hurt his feelings.
Yep.
They get mad about anything.
Yep.
I
was just kind of I was looking at the reaction here just in the local Montgomery groups, and I'm like, what is this? Like man, bunch of losers.
Yeah, like the guy that got killed the other night, man, the rich life guy. I know him. I've done some work for the guy in the past, man, and this is murder. Like I said, he hurt somebody's feelings or whatever. Hell, this is where I've heard that a person said they got into it with somebody at the traffic light. These people followed them home, man, to find out where they live. Came back later on, somebody spraying the house up.
Damn.
So just gotta keep your mouth closed nowadays, I guess, or just be ready to shoot somebody or go to jail. I ain't got too old to go to jail. See?
Yeah.
He ain't be finna humping on me.
It's not funny, but it's funny. Especially the way you just said it.
I ain't going. I got too old to go to jail, so I just walk away from it because I know me. So don't push me too far, So I just leave it alone. So I've been pushed. One pushed me too far almost a while back. This guy was driving a damn mail truck. Okay, he was behind me, wide open. So
Wide open in the mail truck. Was he going 27?
Taking up both lanes.
He's going 27 miles an hour. Wide open in the mail truck.
Stopping everywhere.
No, he was in the one of the big ones now. He was in the 24-footer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was behind me, riding my bumper, man. He was riding me. So.
Wait, was it a UPS man in short shorts? You get in a fight with a man wearing short shorts?
No, let me tell you what happened. This cat, I thought I could talk to him because he's on the clock. I can maybe talk to him. Shoot, man, this joker. I wrote one of the house. Told him, man, talking to him. He asked me what I want to do. Yep. I'm all right, man.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm going to get back in my car and go home. That's the best thing you could have done, dude.
Man, if he would have just turned right, he could never followed him.
Boy, so but man, so what I think about doing is me and my wife gonna get hold of Katy Perry and all of them here. We're gonna get us a spot on the moon somewhere. Let them,
Nice. I like that.
Let Katy Perry take us up there and sing to us on the way up.
Crazy woman. I appreciate the call, Duke. A good call.
Love you, brother. See you, Duke.
All right, man.
272-9228. No, he brought back a memory. I'm working Parks and Rec, and it was some ball field. It wasn't the one's a good one. Trying to think where it was. Kind of all blurs together. But some young kid, probably like 12, whatever, just started talking smack at the foreman of our truck as we're trying to get work done. I don't know what. And he immediately was like, no, you need to learn to respect people, young man. And it didn't hurt the kid, but he immediately put the kid on the ground. And then picked him up and gave him a lesson. And this guy was I think one of the highest you can in non-officer. It served in Iraq a lot of times. So he was no nonsense guy, good dude around that truck. And so after putting the kid on the ground, he kind of talked to him, tried to set him straight. And it's just that sort of attitude with just random straight. Like you're a young kid, you just have an attitude with some random grown man. Like, what the heck are you even?
Sowing your oats, man. Just sowing your oats. No one's ever told you that's not how to do it.
And then, somebody like me, I don't know. I never had that fight in me.
Never had to. It's a good thing. Good thing.
I was just waiting for the rib kick to come in.
No? You've never been in a fight, so you probably shouldn't be getting kicked in the ribs.
Yeah, that'd probably be good. Yeah. Not a real fight, no. Yeah. I mean, pillow fights, they're kind of funny.
Keyboard fights?
Oh, God. I'd rather take a real fight than that. Because the keyboard fights, sometimes somebody will say a thing, you're like, damn. It'll stick with you for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Man, if people don't have to say it to someone's face or at least put their name on it, I don't give it any credibility. Doesn't matter.
I forget who it was. I think it was Chappelle who said he wanted to come up with a new show that you go and knock on these trolls' door. Like when they troll you, just go knock on the door. Holy crap, it's Dave Chappelle. Don't Dave Chappelle me, man. I got some talking to you,
And then
don't
it's like
these people.
the real life Randy Marsh. Right.
Exactly.
You're like, who's this guy stoned?
It was the Jay and Silent Bob at the end. Did you say this? Did you call us this on chat?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, man. Hey, we got to hit another break. First, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. Hey, fellas, if you're looking to get back that energy, that motivation, that drive, you're looking to get that edge back. Like how you used to be able to go all day, all night, pull those all-nighters, and you were fine. You were tired, but you powered through. And now you're like, I just had a big cheeseburger after lunch, and I'm thinking,
want to take a nippy nap.
Take a nap here. Yeah, and you're never in the mood. You have no sex drive to speak of.
That ain't good.
And maybe there's no snap in your turtle. You know,
that's definitely not any good.
And you might be thinking, well, I'll go with some of those online pills. I see all the fancy advertising. No.
What about the ones at the gas station, Joey?
No. Or you're like, well, the one Frank Thomas is selling it. No. Go to the true professionals here in Montgomery. Discretion is the word there. And at Montgomery Men's Health, they can provide you a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. In fact, they have treatments that'll get you better the same day. In fact, if your problem is low T, they have treatments there that can truly change men's lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, brother, better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice it increased libido.
That's all right.
And you can actually book the same day you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, equal housing lender.
For reliable electrical services in Central Alabama, trust the experts at Crosby Electric. Crosby's licensed and insured electricians are ready to tackle any project for your home, from troubleshooting, repairs, to installing new lighting and preventive maintenance. And Crosby understands the need for quality service for small business. Crosby is big enough for the largest job, yet small enough to bring real value. Visit CrosbyElectric.com to schedule your service. Crosby, powering Central Alabama with excellence.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Good morning. Do you have time for lunch today? My treat.
Absolutely. But what's the occasion?
I'm in love with the new 24/7 Express kiosk at Worth Cleaners. The kiosk is so easy to use, and I can drop off and pick up on my schedule. Thank you for sharing that tip with me.
You're welcome. I'm happy to have my lunch buddy back.
Have you tried the new Worth Cleaners 24/7 Express kiosk? This is the first service of its kind in Montgomery. Customers love the convenience of dropping off and picking up dry cleaning and laundry on their schedule, day or night, 365 days a year. Even if you've never used Worth Cleaners before, you can go to their location at 7825 Vaughn Road today and use their 24/7 Express kiosk. Instructions along with several descriptive photos are posted on the wall next to the kiosk to aid customers who are first-time users. Give it a try. Visit our Vaughn Road location or find Worth Cleaners on Facebook for more information. Your family's clothing is worth it.
Hi, I'm Jane Ray, account executive with Blue Water Broadcasting. Why should you advertise with us? Frequency sells. The more ads you can get on the air, the better the chances it will make an impact. Radio allows advertisers an inexpensive way to get their voices heard over and over again. Contact me, Jane Ray, by going to bluewaterbroadcasting.com to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. It's time to get those gardens ready. From seeds to plants to fertilizer, MPM has what you need. Shop MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays, 8 to 1.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We are on cruise control with a really great forecast for the next few days. Tonight will be a little bit on the cool side with mostly clear skies, overnight low temperature in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, a high around 73. Thursday's a little warmer, up to about 80. Good Friday, mid-80s, mostly sunny. And the storm-free dry pattern continues through Easter weekend, I think. I've got us in the mid-80s over the weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back, folks. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Charlie. Hey, Charlie, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Let me tell you what happened to us this just last week. You know, we do a ton of remodeling in Montgomery, and in a large area. But anyways, we was out on we was doing a job on Raintree Drive. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We was doing a job on Raintree Drive in Montgomery, and my guys get out there. We get set up and everything, and we were told by the lady that lived in the home that we really need to have some really good security because of the things that went on at nighttime in her neighborhood. And she lived there for, 40-something years, I guess, or maybe more. Anyways, I was going to change out the lock on our trailer, and because she was saying they've tried to break in her house, they've done all this, so we started to pull off the time and even do the work. Anyways, I went down to Harbor Freight to buy some lock, some heavy duty lock, and I parked probably 20 yards or so in front of the store. Before I could even get into the store, I had two guys hitting me up for money. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't that they were asking me for money. They were telling me, give me your money. Give me your money.
Yeah.
I got to the store, and I went into the store. I looked for the items that I needed, and they didn't have them. Well, I drove from Prattville to the Harbor Freight in Prattville, and when I went in, I met the manager there, which I know. And I was telling him about the guys hitting me up for the money. He said, well, Charlie, you won't believe it. He said, the Harbor Freight in Montgomery, it is ranked. It jumps from 3 to 4 as far as the ranking of theft in the United States. Mm-hmm. And Harbor Freight started in California.
Yep.
So it's not something that's just a southeastern business. It's across the nation. But it's set up so they are ranked. And he said, I don't understand how they keep that store open. He said, because the guys will go in there and they'll get a crowd. They'll pick up tools and material. They'll come to the front of the store, and when they're busy, they'll have someone waiting for them outside the store. They'll walk through the store, get in the cars, and just leave and never pay for anything. I said, wow, that's something. So when I get back to the office, I get a phone call from one of the guys that's on the job, and him and my son was walking outside to get some material to take back in the house, and they caught a guy trying to get into one of our trucks. And not my son, but the other guy, he hollered at him, and, I don't know what he said, but he hollered at him, and the guy took off running. He was actually trying to break in to the truck. We had to get one of my guy's sons to come up there and just sit outside and watch our two pickup and our trailer to keep anybody from, taking the opportunity to try to break into them. But they also had people. There was people walking up and down the sidewalk in the streets taking pictures of our truck and our trailer. And the lady that lived there, she said, it has got pathetic. She said, they steer me. She said, I don't get that upset during the daytime. But at night, I really get upset because she said, I can hear them outside and I don't know where they're at. And they're always messing with my stuff. I'm going to tell you guys, this is getting crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really, really getting crazy. We completed a job for a retired police officer in Montgomery. And this gentleman told me face to face, we was talking about the crime. They were considering moving out of Montgomery. And he put in over 20-something years service there in Montgomery. And he actually knew my son-in-law because my son-in-law was a fireman there in Montgomery for 20-something years. Anyways, he said that the city, the mayor's office and the city council literally lie to the population about the crime. They make it sound like, oh, it's not that bad now. It's not that bad. It is bad.
Oh, yeah.
He said it's a lot worse than what they'll say that it actually is. And I said, I know, man. I said, there's some areas in Montgomery I won't even accept doing business because you don't know about the place. It's so corrupt.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just, that's what it is. But I couldn't believe that when he told me that Harbor Freight ranked 3 or 4 as far as theft in the whole United States.
That's insane.
That is crazy. Well, I'll let you guys go.
Appreciate it, Charlie.
All right. Thanks, Charlie.
272-9228.
Let me tell you this. Last week, I think it was Thursday, it had to be Thursday. I was in one of the Dollar Generals over in Eastbrook. And I just went in there to get a candy bar. And over the intercom, suddenly you hear, you two ladies, one with the red hat, put the items back on the shelf, take them out of your purse. The cops have been called. Said this like 3 times. Now, I've heard this kind of talk before, especially that loudspeaker, when I did a couple hours in jail one time.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of attention. And sure enough, within a few minutes, these girls walked to the front door. And it's obviously the girls he was talking about. They didn't even take the stuff out. A clerk had to tell them, you're going to take that stuff out of your purse before you leave. They had no shame, could care less. They just, and she gave them the box or whatever, casually walked out the door.
That's bold, man.
Man.
Be called out like that on the intercom.
I had never, honestly, I thought, oh, we got to get it on the ground. I've heard this before. We're all supposed to just lay it flat on the ground. That was my first instinct because that's, again, how just thought I was locked up in the penal system there for a minute.
No, I was the beginning of your story. You were in why a Dollar General?
I need a candy bar. Having a little diabetic episode. My sugar gets low.
What, you're hypoglycemic or something?
I don't know for sure, but I know when I get craving a candy bar, I go get one so I don't have to experience that.
You know what? When you feel it wash over your body, you can feel
it. Yeah, I know it's a real, like...
Are you mocking me because I might be pre-diabetic and just ignore it?
Or maybe you're just a fat boy likes cake.
Could be, but either way, my body was saying, hey, we need some sugar. And not that kind.
So you stop at the Dollar General.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it shows my elitist frame of mind. I'm like, I never stop at the Dollar General. I have no reason to go inside the Dollar General.
Really?
Sheer odds. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
How do you not stop in the Dollar General?
How are you dodging? Because literally, I think it's every 8 miles.
I don't eat candy bars.
They all have other things, Joey. They have Busch Light there as well. Usually on sale at a good price.
Okay.
And they have chips.
I get it if you're like out where you live, you got to go to the Dollar General.
Like
in the middle of nowhere.
That's in Eastbrook.
Yeah.
Not a good place to go.
I don't know. I'd go.
You go to Target to get your candy bars?
I don't get candy bars. No, I try to think of the places I stop. It's going to be Walgreens on Perry Hill, Atlanta Highway, and sometimes that Mapco, and sometimes the Circle K that's been renovated right here on Perry Hill because it's on the way to work.
I don't let fear bother me where I'm going to go.
No, it's not even a fear thing. Like I
understand.
No, I literally never think to go into. I can't remember the last time I was in a Dollar General. Like, and there's one right there on Berry Hill
What
Road.
you got against the Dollar Gentry?
I'm just, I just don't think about it.
Whenever
You oughta.
Whenever you're tired of that high bar that Walmart sets,
Yeah.
go to Dollar General.
Okay, yeah. I can't remember the last time I stepped foot in Walmart. Seriously.
So again, you go to Target for your chocolate, do you?
No, I don't get chocolate.
Fat boy, come on. You don't get that big eating vegetables. Come on.
I don't eat chocolate.
Okay.
Where you
You
get
call
your
it
gummy
fat.
worms,
Yeah.
man.
Where'd you get your candy from?
I don't really get candy. Last sweet thing I got was like
You ever seen a 300-pound
Lee,
vegan?
hey,
it was
that
some
swears
ice
they
cream
don't-
over at Publix.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. The Publix. The highfalutin. That's
Yeah.
fine. Nothing
No,
wrong with
I
the
like to shop where the air is crisp, where it's like you're
Publix.
high
Where the
above.
prices are crisp.
Right. Yeah. Like high. Like I like to really, decrease the power of my dollar.
Well,
That's what I like to do.
Good,
All right.
good job, Joey. You're on a great track to do that.
Right.
I'm just saying the
Call
Dollar
me.
Gentry.
How much you weigh today?
Oh man, I'm going to guess. I'll hit the scale tomorrow. I'm going to guess. I'm probably 211.
Yeah, I was 198 this morning.
Yeah, but I'm still like 4 feet taller than you. So.
Yeah, but I'm down like 40 something pounds.
You down to 5'8"?
Yeah, you wish. I'm just saying, like I never even think about stopping in the Dollar
Dollar
General.
Gentry, really?
Mm.
Honestly, there is their business strategy of like every 8 to 11 miles of Dollar General. In
Oh,
Alabama.
sure. Yeah.
So yeah,
No, and I get it in a rural area.
Yeah.
I'd probably stop all the time if I was.
if it wasn't for the
Yeah.
Dollar Gentry, then I'd be at Kim's Conoco all the time. So,
Right.
yeah.
No, especially like you see where my dad lives. It's like it's really nice on the bay.
Mhm.
But it takes
forever.
20, 30
just
minutes
gets
to
one.
get to a grocery store.
I'm telling you, as you get older, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and they're in a spot where nobody will deliver. Like they're too far away from all the delivery. Like just a pizza place.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing down there.
I want to go. I want to be there.
All right. That's,
Well, and I was also thinking, like Charlie's going to say, a certain place I don't work in that YouTube documentary of the hood here in Montgomery. A lot of those guys are like, yeah, they don't deliver pizza around here.
dude,
That like delivery people won't show up here. A lot of folks won't come over here.
when we had our pizza place in Millbrook, there were certain areas that we questioned delivered to or just didn't.
Oh,
You
there
wouldn't
were-
believe the amount of grief that I got.
When I was a delivery driver in Auburn, there are
Yeah.
certain times you get a call, and I'm like, damn, we're going to the trailer park right where Auburn and Opelika meet. Like, get in, get out. You know you ain't getting a tip.
We used to have to go to that strip club sometimes in Prattville.
Oh, really?
Man,
What a
yeah.
shame.
It was.
All those women with daddy issues.
I'm
right.
telling you,
what
man.
a shame.
Sometimes those things would sit on the counter for all like 10 seconds for a driver would grab it and head up. The good tippers up that way.
Cash tips.
Every time.
Mhm.
Got to go where the money's at.
You ever smelled the dollar bill?
Try not to.
Stank,
Joey.
don't it?
This is part of the program. I'm sorry. Brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dylan Raines. There's so many things I was about to say that I should not say. So what toppings you get?
I
put
got
on
so
this?
many questions.
Yeah.
Jack Campbell.
Yeah, Jack would be doing this right now.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
No, but they're Dylan Rings. They are a full service jewelry shop. Earlier we mentioned, go check out their Facebook page. Some of the custom design work Josh Ryder can do. Took a gentleman's mom passed away, or it might have been a lady's mother passed away. Took their wedding set and was able to make a cross pendant
so
out
cool.
of that wedding set. It's absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. It could be poignant things like that or fun things, just maybe a custom engagement ring. We've seen a lot of those this season.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be you're looking for everyday jewelry. Leslie's put together an amazing inventory. They have a lot in stock from everyday jewelry to high-end pieces. They can also do repairs, spa treatments, clean up that favorite jewelry of yours, make it shine and shimmer like it's brand new. You know, that stuff you wear all day, every day.
Yep.
That needs a bit of a
That's what you
cleaning
want.
up.
You need a good bath. For
They
that.
can also do appraisals, even like watch battery replacement. They do it all there at Dylan Rings, a full service jewelry shop. So stop by 119 Brown Springs Road today. It's just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey and Eddie and Byron, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, What do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Hey guys, this is Todd Clark with River Region Contracting, your premier roofing contractor in Central Alabama. So remember the name, River Region Contracting, for all your roofing needs. We're not affiliated with any other roofing company in the River Region. We've been in the roofing business since 2005. We don't have to buy our leads, and we don't have to knock on doors when the storms come around. We have thousands of satisfied customers throughout Central Alabama. So call us at 334-356-8635. That's 334-356-8635.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Oh, Eddie, you're getting a class check. What I mean by that? You're getting a class check. Duke texted me. Yeah, that's right. Duke's got my number. Duke texted me and he said, Eddie just doesn't understand. Duck egg eating rich white boys don't go into a damn dollar store. Eddie seriously needs one of those Bud Lights.
Hey, got a point, Joey. Got a point.
About to say, if I'm rich, we're screwed. So I'm doing all right, but
I don't know. I mean, I think once you get in a Dollar Gentry, you'll be like, this is all right. Very efficient.
Okay, all right. Let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. I tell you what, when you see me giving the dogs food tube water in their bowl, you know I hit the lottery. I didn't think about it.
Would you like Evian or Fiji?
Yeah, you know, I heard a story years ago about a whole group of people winning a lottery, like 20 of them, right? It was actually 21. But one guy went back to work and never said a thing about it. Worked another 5 years and then up and disappeared. And when they got to looking for it, they're like, oh, well, you know, he won that lottery and he didn't want his wife to get half of it.
Yep. I've heard of that. There's a guy in, I want to say it's in Maine, Ray. He won the lottery. He's a street sweeper. He's still a street sweeper. All his buddies hate him because he could go do whatever he wants, but he still drives a street sweeping machine every day.
I can promise you one thing will never happen. I'm not going to win the lottery because I don't gamble.
There you go. Ray's out.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. I tried it. Like, I gave him $1 and I looked at the numbers and there wasn't one number on thing. I said, never again. I could have bought a Twix. But if you want a great deal, because I am not a gambler and I don't need your money to go gambling on, call us 285-8117. We're going to give you the best pricing right out the gate. There's no gambling involved whatsoever. It's a sure win when you call Private Carpet at 285-8117.
Getting that number, 285-8117, it really is a sure thing, folks. And when you call 285-8117, be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Guys, have a great day.
Thank you, Ray.
Pretty much out of time here. Do we learn anything today? But you still got the down home in you.
Oh, I'm always going to have that, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real thing.
Yeah, it's me, who I is.
No, and I love that, like, Joey's the rich white boy when I know for a fact you doing all right.
I know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm leaving here to go try to make some money this afternoon.
You ain't Lake Martin rich.
Should have.
I'm
telling you, back in the 80s, back when I was first looking at my lake place,
you could
close
have,
to the same money, I could have done Martin. I'm glad I didn't because I like our little country place, but man, my Lake Martin place would be worth over $1 million today. no
Right.
doubt.
Right.
Yep.
No, we knew some folks when I was a kid where they got in early.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the
That's what-
property's worth ridiculous amounts of money now.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get out of here.
All right.
Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Budell. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.